Morning. Good morning. Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face.
Nancy gonna cut you a check too late. 2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of the dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them, playing the game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward and 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people in its wake, and the cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker, don't shine a light in my face. Wait.
Good morning. Sunday morning. Good morning.
Wait.
Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say? So I try to sit down with my wife and watch TV, but I just see propaganda elevating the police in the simplest of sitcom banter, and tiny little altars full of offerings to corporate masters in every well-planned wide pan shot of the name brand stocking up the pantry. Pull back one long tracking shot out to the garage to the logo on the Camry. Nice tight shot of the Camry. Close-up view of the Camry, slow pan up on the Camry, long slow zoom to the unmoving human who is up in the front with the tube pumping fumes to him straight from the back of the Camry. Ashamed he just could not provide for himself, let alone for his family. It's a blue pill mindset that spent 2020 making dance beats.
I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride, and thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
Ignorance is bliss, which explains why a lot of us are so fucking happy. Quick to take the trip for all its trappings. Never one to ask what's up, what's going on, or God forbid what's happening. A lot of us would strap into the ride and then spit right in the eye of the guy whose job it is to snap your fastenings. But maybe we're all born with that capacity. Maybe each of us comes standard with humor, compassion, malice, and audacity. Some of us are blind to the system, but some see it fine and say this is how it has to be. Some of us can stare wide-eyed at a nationwide human catastrophe and only offer platitudes and recipes. And I wish that I could tell myself that nothing's worth obsessing past my everyday necessities. I wish that I could cry fake news over anything that threatened me, tune out our abuses and consume a little levity. Wish that I could offer up my son a smoother destiny. Wish I had some better lessons for how best to answer questions for the things I've been perpetually questioning. But I'm too busy looking at our leaders, wondering what I might be missing from their messaging. Trying to find the reasoning to let 250,000 people meet an early reckoning. And even though I know the truth, it's hard to swallow something that's so literally sickening. Hope is ever dwindling, COVID ever beckoning. Winter slows your breathing, but your pulse is ever quickening. Even though I know the truth, it's hard to keep listening. I'm done with my epiphany, my innocence is blistering. I'd like to think I'd taste the earth before I'd ever kiss the ring. Hard to speak the truth and harder still to keep listening.
Sometimes I think I miss being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
Told to come alone. Joe said if you vote for him, he'll abdicate his throne as the father of the crime bill, soul of Jim Crow. Proud to live and vote as a Strom Thurmond clone. If he tried to kiss your daughter with a camera rolling, he'll try more than kissing her alone. Cozy up with Jill for a photo like a portrait of the Kissingers at home. You know I hate to kill the messenger, but if he's gotta go, we can FaceTime. Slit his throat while he stares into the phone. Like if you don't know, kitten, now you know. This is where austerity has gotten us. This is all that palpable excitement for a 20-year wait on forgiveness for your student loans. But a distraction's a distraction and it's time to see some action. So here's one last song for Joe, before I try to keep his name out of the lyrics in my phone. Try to shift the focus to our senators and everyone in Congress who is all too happy to be hidden while we're wasted to the bone. It is not food insecure, it's starvation, and it lurks in almost half the country's homes. So if you plan to lay down, hold your nose and vote for Joe, have the guts to admit that you chose to submit and that you decided lending your support to a pedophile must be a step towards hope.
than a vote for a man that spent his whole life implementing laws that dehumanized people of color is a vote against fascism. When you know damn well he's just a kinder, dumber face on the same white nationalism. So baby, throw away your scruples with the memories of your activism. Watch your weak resistance usher in a fucking cataclysm. Elect a bigot war pig and say you're gonna push him into pacifism. That's some bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Baby, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. God, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. That's some fucking.
Hey, what about you, eyeballs? What did you see?
It couldn't have been me, sir. I was front row in my AOC t-shirt, foie gras sucking on a press release, sir. My head down, fourth shot, good little sheep, sir. Sit down, sweetie. The adults are gonna speak first. They trust the science and they're terrified of research. Here to thank our healthcare heroes, they've been feeding to the burnout, feet first. Until suddenly they dip mid-shift, take a header off a bridge. Such a shame, they were really such a sweet nurse. Now they'll never get the card and the cold slice of pizza meant to thank them for their teamwork. Now they'll never get the baggie full of checks mixed, which would be the one reward they'd see for the moms they had to intubate. And the countless cries of grief since we've been haunted by the specter of the C word. Now all the applause for our healthcare heroes rings a very hollow note because we played it out like Freebird. See, add the ones and zeros in our fragile checks and balances are checks for all the wealthy who have such unholy talents that we think it's patriotic that we all got zero balances. And re-elect Pelosi so she'll face our toughest challenges.
IndependentLeft.News. Indie.
What's up, Indie?
IndieNews.Network.
Indie. I get news from Independent Left.
IndependentLeft.News.
IndependentLeft.News.
Indie Left Media.
Independent Left News.
Indie Left.
Independent Left News.
Independent Left Media.
Indie Media.
Indie Left.
Indie.
Indie Left News. Indie Left.
Hi, Indie!
Indie Left News.
Subscribe to IndieNews.Network.
We're world building.
Your way of assisting, I feel like, is really cool.
IndependentLeft.News.
Independent Left News.
I'm a huge fan.
He created INN.
The founder of Independent News Network.
Indie is the founder of IndieNews.Network.
Thank you, Independent Left.News.
A huge thank you and shout out to Indie Left.
Everyone check out Indie Left News.
Hey, Indie Left.
IndependentLeft.News.
Indie.
Hi, Indie.
Indie Left. Indie Left News.
Indie News.
Independent Media.
Independent Left News has done an amazing job.
Oh, it's all working. What's up, everybody? Oh my God. Hi. It's Sunday night. We look a little different tonight, huh? Had a little fun. Yes. What's up, E? Eric T Red, what's up, E? How are you? Good to see everybody. Great stabby interview with Tara. Agree. That was amazing today. That was a lot of fun. That was a little heavy, but it was good. Quite informative for anyone that hasn't been following what's been happening on Twitter or in Ukraine or in a lot of different places. Yeah, man. The Jamam. Yes, we are a little. Yes. Reef went a little crazy forever. We've been listening to DMX doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and laughing and having fun with that all week. So the other day my son actually asked me if I could change to some festive holiday colors, and we worked on it together, and this is kind of what we ended up with, and it's great. It's cool, and we're messing around. It'll change back probably next week. Actually, not next week, but when we come back, and that's something we could talk about now, and we'll remind you later. But we're going to be taking probably a couple of weeks off, at least 2, 3, if not more than that. We'll see how far the break goes out, but next week is Christmas night, so we're not going to stream Christmas night, New Year's night as well, New Year's Day night. I don't think we really want to do that either, but we'll see. And then the week after that, I'm going to be away, so I'm not going to be able to stream anyway. Maybe there'll be a best of, maybe not. So yeah, Christmas news. That's right. It's Christmas. It's indie Christmas, kind of horrifying.
Christmas news.
Yes. Trumpy and everything. Oh, it's gonna be.
There's a lady in a barn. She's gonna have the baby.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, welcome everybody to How Did We Miss That?
over to Ollie Williams. It's Jesus.
Nightbot's already getting started. All right. So, How Do We Miss That? That's the show that you're watching right now and listening to if you're on a podcast. It's a show and podcast streaming live on Rockfan, YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, Odyssey, Telegram. It's on Substack and on IndieLeft.news also. Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. Available on all your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify.
Are we allowed
Google,
to mention on this platform
Apple.
The other platforms? Is that what we're allowed to do?
Well, tonight, I don't know. Is our dear Lord and Emperor Elonicus able to do that? We're gonna find out. So I'm Indy. You can see from the bouncing thing over here. I didn't change the colors on the spectralizer. Bad, Indy. Bad. Okay. And I got this guy sitting down. I'm the founder of Independent Left News, Indie Left News, IndieMedia.today. That's our Substack. And we got Discord. We're on every platform.
Christmas bauble.
We do. And then I got this guy sitting here, Mr. Comedian guy, Mr. Snoopy, Reef, Breland. Hopefully he doesn't get me DMCA'd for having Snoopy on his thing, and that's in the public domain.
Is that possible?
I hope not.
I would think.
Anyway, I hope not. But anyway, this guy, Reef Breland, he's INN's technical director. He is the host of INN News and the host of Reefer After Dark when it runs. All the stories tonight that we're going to show tonight were featured in independentleft.news or IndieLeft.news between Sunday and Friday. And it's just impossible to keep up with the fire hose of developing news all week long. This is just a few of the stories that we thought we wanted to cover that didn't see too many people talking about, except for, of course, the Twitter files. And we're going to talk about some Twitter file stuff and Twitter files related stuff. But make sure to share the link, like the stream, subscribe to our channels, all the platforms you watch and listen. We're everywhere, like I said. 10 platforms on 2 different channels. You can find us on IndieNews.Network. All of our channels on the INN family of channels. Ooh, a little high. And then you can find us, of course, on all the Indie Left News channels on all those different platforms as well. Exclusively on Rockfin. That's the only place where we're only on that one channel. But everywhere else we're on both. So you can see our volunteers and all of our contributors, patrons. Thank you so much to all of them throughout the entire year. And now Substack as well. We've turned on our Substack. So again, thank you to everyone that subscribed everywhere. Ko-fi, Buy Me a Coffee. I believe that Lula Leftist is still sub to us over on Ko-fi. So we just appreciate all the support and love doing this. And it does cost us some money. So anything you can throw us to help us absorb some of that cost and then put it right back into to subscribing to other content creators, streamers, writers, premium memberships. I just subscribed to Matt Taibbi actually after the Twitter file stuff has happened the last couple of weeks, man. He's just been
nice,
pretty on it. So shout out to that. Taibbi.substack.com. We'll talk about that later, even though he's not in tonight because he was not part of Twitter Files 4 and 5, which is what we're going to cover tonight. You had a pretty good week on INN News. That was a good stream.
Yep.
You and Colin killing it. And
you did a couple extra. We did an extra one.
Yeah, you did an extra one. You guys are a little extra, so that makes sense.
Yep.
I don't know where Care Bear is tonight. I'm sure he'll be in chat soon if he's not here already. So let's get to some stories. I have a bunch of slides and a bunch of stuff to cover, so let's do it. And let's go to the slideshow. Boom. All right, thumbnail. First of all, we've got Elon, of course. Elon's going to dominate the whole night. Thank you so much for buying Twitter and deciding to change the entire news cycle and the entire narrative about news and press freedom and everything else that's happening. And that just kind of happened on a dime right after the election or right around the election time. And it's exposing a bunch of stuff, and it's pretty interesting. Tonight we're going to be flying without the green screen so that we can actually show you the green in our look and feel. Shout out to Big Mad Crab, of course, for designing the thumbnail as he does every week. It's just hilarious. I told him, he sent me it over. I said, we need to have Trump in there. After the NFT, and my God, the NFT, all right, he sold out.
Mm-hmm.
He made $4.5 million. Everybody's laughing. He's laughing all the way to the bank, Trumpy. All right. That's kick-ass, Greg. So first story tonight is going to be that Julian kind of warned us all. And I found this story. Julian. All right. I found this story over in, I don't even remember, LA Progressive, which was picked up on Monday of last week. And the headline says, Censorship by Proxy, How Big Tech is Censoring Even the Global News Platforms. Wait, come on. Restrictions on, yep. Oh, but like, they're talking about the AP and Reuters even like getting censored and funneled. Okay. Restrictions on freedom of information by corporations beyond government censorship to serve corporate, government, or other interests. And what's funny is Mickey Huff and Andy Lee Roth. I just thought that the names just, David Lee Roth and there's got to be some that's Mickey Hart from the Grateful Dead. It's just hit me funny. Anyway. So, despite the boundless access to info, Silicon Valley mirrors legacy media in its consolidated ownership and privileging of elite narratives. New class of billionaire oligarchs owns or controls the most popular media platforms, including the companies often referred to as the FANGs, as we well know. But now it's not really FANGs because Meta and Alphabet, it's like MAAN. MAAAN, right? So that's Meta, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Alphabet, for those who are on the podcast. Their CEOs are routinely lionized in popular culture and the press as intrepid entrepreneurs, inventors of today's must-have tools for work and play, and stewards of the public square. They include, but are not limited to, of course, we know Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, and all are deeply involved and invested in computer software, social media platforms, and the World Wide Web itself. Right? So, through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which we've covered extensively, Bill Gates has provided over $300 million to fund news outlets, journalism centers, and training programs, press associations, and specific media campaigns around the world. Zuckerberg.
Well, this is, not to derail too much. Biden recently talked about during his me and Colin covered it a little bit. His like olive branch to Africa. He's given money to like connect Microsoft with African countries essentially. It was like very Charles Schwab-y sort of stuff. So
sure. I believe that. So of course, Mark Gates. Mark Robot Zuckerberg, and in the name of combating online misinformation, of course, we know he hired fact checkers from the Atlantic Council, which is a NATO lobby group, and he stifled and deplatformed countless independent news voices, mostly those critical U.S. foreign policy, official narratives of COVID, and other controversial issues, specifically, of course, around Israel as well. And they don't want to talk about Israel, Palestine. Thanks, Mark. Let's get back to this. Resembling previous generations of billionaires who own legacy media outlets, today's digital tech titans blur the lines between journalism, entertainment, consumption of goods and information. They increasingly partner with the military-industrial complex, as we know, in service of national security and state surveillance. We know Bezos and Microsoft have got tons of government contracts. They also aim to collect and monetize any available information about the people who use their platforms. Yes, and as critics, including Shoshana Zuboff and Alan McLeod, Nolan Higdon, have noted, big tech billionaires harvest and exploit our online data for profit, political influence, social control. Power dynamics Zuboff calls surveillance capitalism. Again, I don't think I'm covering anything from this article that we're not very familiar with in our realm. But I want to still lay this out because we still have to establish this for the people kind of as a baseline, that this still is happening. That in the process, big tech giants and their oligarchic owners now engage in a new type of censorship, which we've called censorship by proxy. This is interesting. Censorship by proxy describes restrictions on freedom of information undertaken by private corporations that exceed limits on governmental censorship and serve both corporate and government or third-party interests. Censorship by proxy is not subject to venerable First Amendment prescriptions or on government interference with freedom of speech or freedom of the press. It's private, again, terms of service type of shit. Censorship by proxy alerts us to the power of economic entities that are not normally recognized as gatekeepers. For example, in 2022, and we covered this too, the digital financial service PayPal, whose of course founders include Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, froze the accounts of Consortium News and Mint Press. By the way, Indie Media Award honorees, some of the best outlets out there that absolutely report on corruption and are uncorrupted themselves for unspecified offenses.
Yeah, they do good stuff.
For, quote, unspecified offenses and, quote, risks associated with their accounts, meaning they're affiliated with Palestine, and they report on Israel's crimes. A ruling that prevented both independent news outlets from using funds maintained by PayPal. Now, the thing with Consortium News was because Robert Parry had passed away and they hadn't filled out certain paperwork. They're still holding, I believe, about $13,000 of Joe Loria's money. I mean, people have donated over the years to Consortium News using PayPal. It's a terrible story. I don't believe they still have the money out. So, Consortium News and Mint Press have each filed critical news stories and commentary on the foreign policy objectives of the U.S. and NATO. Like I said, PayPal issued notices to each news outlet stating that in addition to suspending their accounts, it might also seize their assets for damages. Fuck out of here. Yeah, that's for real. Like I said, Joe Loria said he believed this was a case of ideological policing. Bernard Adley, who I've also had emails with, she's terrific, head of Mint Press News, warned the sanctions regime war is coming home to hit the bank accounts of watchdog journalists. Absolutely. Sadly. But PayPal's freeze on the accounts of Mint Press and Consortium wasn't even the most glaring example of censorship by proxy in the past year. Instead, that dishonor goes to big tech platforms and media companies that launched a massive campaign of online censorship in the fateful aftermath of Russia's attack on Ukraine in early 2022. Now, this is where I start to diverge from this article in their take and the author's take on on the strategic military operation that's happening in Ukraine, that the provocation by the U.S. that led up to this. And I'm going to read some things that I don't agree with, but was written by the authors, and I wanted it out there because I wanted to be able to challenge it and discuss it, but also to lay it out and not censor them because these are their words. So, of course, DirecTV, Roku, Sling, and Dish each dropped RT America from their platforms in protest against the Russian invasion. In the name of fighting alleged Russian propaganda and disinformation, and following the lead of the EU, YouTube disappeared the entire Russian channels, including RT America and Sputnik. And those channels archives to great applause from various sectors of the American public, especially liberals. I guess. I don't know how many people were celebrating that they took down Redacted Tonight's entire library and Chris Hedges, really. I mean, they laughed.
I mean, definitely a few. I mean, it depends on the exact people he's mentioning there.
You know what? I guess
not all liberals, but like a select few, definitely.
You know what? I did drop the rest of the article and what they're talking about, and they call Putin a dictator, and everybody's it's really
everybody's bad. Hate
everybody's
everyone,
bad.
Don't trust anyone.
Yep. But that he's also censoring. And that he is, yes, everyone's bad, effectively. But I also wanted to, in that vein, remind everyone that this came out of Media Lens, and this was our, Julian. Nearly every war has been the result of media lies. Okay, speaking of specifically corporate media and Ukraine. And I think that these authors of the prior article, in their analysis or their breakdown, whatever you want to call it, they were kind of spreading corporate media lies, and they may have knowingly or unknowingly done it. Now they did provide some receipts about the fact that, independent media and some of these independent outlets have been thrown out, that you can't say certain terms, you can't call it a war, and you can't speak out against it in Russia. And, from all things we're hearing, that seems to be kind of accurate. So I don't know, but at the same time, I still think that that's well overblown and still part of a propaganda campaign. And from the people that I trust, I'm being told that. Julian Assange once observed, of course, that nearly every war has been the result of media lies. For daring to publish evidence of war crimes, U.S. war crimes, Assange now sits in the high-security Belmarsh prison in London, at risk of being extradited to the U.S. within the next few weeks. Prospects for a fair trial range from minuscule to zero. That's generous.
Mm-hmm.
In a recent interview, WikiLeaks editor-in-chief Kristen Hernafson, he's the current person running WikiLeaks, told U.S. journalist, of course, Glenn Greenwald, that legal avenues in London to challenge Assange's unlawful extradition were being exhausted. What's needed now is not recourse to a legal system that is subservient to power, but a political fight, as he explained. Quote, in my perception, and I've been sitting on all the proceedings in London, all the extradition proceedings in London have exposed only one thing, and that's the fact that this is just not going to be won in a court. Okay, there's no justice to be had in courtrooms in London. That's obvious, and I don't have to mention the United States. That's one of the essences of the defense in fighting the extradition, that he'll never be able to get a fair trial there. So we're running out of time. We need to push this on a different level, and so he decided that we needed to go on tour to shore up political support, because the only way to fight a political persecution is through political means. The Guardian recently joined with the New York Times, Le Monde, and all the other mainstream media papers in publishing an open letter calling on President Biden to end Assange's persecution. About 3 years too late, and after they'd smeared him and dragged him through the mud and used his work in the process, but okay, we'll take it. It's been 10 years since Assange sought refuge in the Ecuadorian embassy in London after being dragged from the embassy by police in April 2019 in exchange for an IMF loan for, I believe it was $5.4 billion. Misty goes through the entire thing at the beginning of every action for Assange.
Yep.
Julian's been locked up in the harsh regime of Belmarsh prison, suffering from failing physical and mental health. Indeed, according to the UN Special Rapporteur on Torture, Nils Melzer, Assange is literally a victim of torture. We know this. In 2020, the prestigious medical journal The Lancet published a letter from Doctors for Assange with 216 signatories from 33 countries, drawing urgent attention to the ongoing torture and medical neglect. So he warned us about this, and this is what they're doing to him. Political writer Thomas Scripps noted that the open letter from 5 newspapers, of course, makes clear that he's been the victim of a monstrous campaign of state persecution, costing him years of his life, good health, for revealing state criminality designed to set a chilling example for others. And it has. Some do it in the face of that, but some, there's tons of people I think that would, and they're afraid to, for family's sake, for all different kinds of job and extra, being kind of cast out from society for that kind of stuff. We're kind of the misfits. We don't really care about this stuff, but tons of people do. What took them so long to speak out? The conduct of these newspapers, of course, over the past decade has been thoroughly reprehensible. Their efforts to poison public opinion against him, give credence to the false claims and accusations made against him, facilitated the American state's persecution of this principled and courageous journalist. On top of the fact that they never correct the lies, that they never print the updates, that they didn't properly follow and cover the Belmarsh trial, and the Old Bailey trial, like Richard did. Holy moly! Australian journalist John Pilger, legend, who's done so much to raise public awareness of Assange's plight, was scathing. And this is a much longer article, again, than I even broke up here. I had to grab a portion of it, but John Pilger just kills it. The editors of Guardian, Times, etc. finally speak up for Assange. Weasel words in 10 years late. I said 3 years late. He's 10 years after the Guardian made public WikiLeaks' secret password and launched a campaign of vilification against the truth teller. to cover their own ass. He added, The Guardian, which has played a major role in the persecution of Julian Assange, is now scurrying for cover with a call for him to be freed. But even its weasel statement repeats malign fiction about his failure to redact files. Correct. Pilger was referring to the oft-repeated smear that the WikiLeaks co-founder recklessly endangered the lives of informants when publishing information that exposed U.S. war crimes. In fact, Assange was extremely careful in redacting names, and he was effectively thrown to the wolves by both The Guardian and the New York Times and a guy by the name of David Lee, a writer by the name of David Lee. That's the guy that deserves to be rotting in Belmarsh right now. How do we know this? Award-winning Australian journalist Mark Davis was an eyewitness to the preparation of the Afghan war logs in 2010 for newspaper publication, documented in Davis's film Inside WikiLeaks. Davis spoke at a public meeting in Sydney in 2019, said he was present alongside Assange at the Guardian's bunker, where a team from Guardian, New York Times, Der Spiegel worked on the publication of articles based on, as New York Times put it, quote, a 6-year archive of classified military documents that offers an unvarnished ground-level picture of the war in Afghanistan that is, in many respects, more grim than the official portrayal. Davis attested that far from being cavalier about releasing documents that might endanger lives, it was Guardian journalists who neglected and appeared to care little about redacting the documents. Again, a man by the name of David Lee. David Lee. Say his name. Put him in prison instead of the guy that's sitting there. Nobody should be in prison for journalism. But if anybody's going to do it, if anybody's going to do it for publishing the secret key, it shouldn't be Julian Assange. Because he took every step that there was to protect it. And this moron actually published it. Moreover, they had a graveyard humor about people being harmed. No one, he stated emphatically, expressed concern about civilian casualties, except Julian. On top of the fact that all of this, we know, is just a persecution to get to Julian in the first place. As Oscar Grenfell explained in a piece for WSWS. Shout out to Oscar and those guys. David Lee, like I said, and Nick Davies, senior Guardian journalists who worked closely with Julian in the publication of the logs, have repeatedly claimed that Assange was indifferent to the consequences of the publication. That's a lie. These Guardian claims were pivotal in corporate media smears against Assange. They were also crucial in the U.S. government claims that publication aided the enemy, which, of course, it didn't. However, noted Grenfell, in reality, U.S. and Australian militaries have been compelled to admit that the release of the Afghan war logs did not result in a single individual coming to physical harm.
Yep.
Not just killed, but any physical harm whatsoever. As Scripps points out, the open letter is evidence that even the 5 newspapers, including Guardian, were well aware from the start that Assange was functioning as a journalist innocent of any crime. Yet, why speak out now, 10 years too late? The likely concern is that a U.S. show trial would expose the newspaper's own nefarious role in providing cover for U.S. war crimes, as well as enabling the persecution of Julian. Which they already have. There's already another vital element in the timing, as he wrote. Quote, the exposure of U.S. war crimes would come at a time when the U.S. is expanding its proxy war against Russia and Ukraine, sold to the public on the grounds that the U.S. intervention is necessary to prevent Russian atrocities. And because the public despises the corporate media, is vital for state and corporate power. The public trust in the news media, a key conduit for carrying and amplifying Western propaganda, does not collapse entirely. So, bury the evidence. In the U.S., trust in the news has fallen to a historic low. Right? We know this. That's why we're doing what we're doing, and we're kicking the crap out of everybody. Amazingly enough. I mean, in our world, I mean, we are reaching people that have completely unplugged from corporate media, and God bless you all. The percentage of Americans who say they have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in newspapers has fallen to 16%. For TV news, it's even lower at 11%. So in response to these findings, Glenn was blunt. Of course, check out Nick, Socialist MMA, on Glenn this week. He was killer. But Glenn said,
yep,
The public despises the corporate media. There is almost nobody held in lower esteem or who's more distrusted and abhorred than liberal employees of large media corporations. Nobody wants to hear from them, so in-group arrogance is all they have left. Kinda, yeah. Yep. So John Pilger also pointed out, he pointed to the ongoing tsunami of propaganda about Ukraine, which is something he's never seen before, including even the lies told about Iraq in the run-up to the 2003 invasion, which is remarkable. But they have a conduit to go directly into your brain. You don't have to turn on the TV anymore. When it comes to opposing views or informed views on Ukraine, none of them have been allowed in by the corporate media, he says. And as for Guardian and its coverage of foreign affairs, we have some people now who are an absolute disgrace, especially on the reporting of Ukraine and Russia. Yes, 100%. The Independent carried a rare dose of sanity last week, even though they're completely owned by the Saudi royal family and their propaganda rag. When it permitted a piece by Mary Dejevsky, all right, she's formerly the newspaper's foreign correspondent in Moscow. She observed the informed view that Western provocations had played a major role in precipitating the Ukraine war is virtually absent from news coverage. How about that? Specific factors that are routinely ignored by the BBC and other major news outlets include, here we go, post-Cold War triumphalism, the green light for former East Bloc states to join NATO despite what Russia understood to have been promises to the contrary, the 2004 ousting of Ukraine's democratically elected president, which Russia saw as a U.S.-inspired coup, and the ways the West subsequently drew Ukraine into the Western Bloc, with the EU Association Agreement on and NATO military assistance, even as it abrogated Cold War arms control treaties one after one or allowed them to lapse. You've got to look at it from the other perspective, and they just refuse to because it's inconvenient to them and to the defense contractors. Consideration of such facts matter, she noted, because without understanding why Russia invaded, there can be no understanding of what will be needed for a lasting peace. Because they don't want that. They want Afghanistan 2.0. They want a 20-year war. And then the legendary Jeffrey Sachs, an economist and foreign policy analyst, also the chair of the Lancet study on COVID.
Did you see?
Yes.
I think it was Joe. Might have been Turncoat. But his, like, Jeffrey Sachs reacts to Jimmy Dore, like, Jimmy starts going off, and Jeffrey Sachs is like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Maybe we'll have to show that.
It's like a bit.
Some stuff, I think that was Joe, STFU shitlib2 on Twitter, at STFU shitlib2, as long as Elon lets him stay on. But Jeffrey Sachs was telling Amy Goodman of Democracy Now!, who of course we're not huge fans of here, but she occasionally gets it right, though. She's even been a simp for the intel state. Quote, I think both sides see that there's no military way out. Speaking of NATO and Ukraine on one side and Russia on the other. He's the most honest man in news, honestly. This war, like von Clausewitz told us 2 centuries ago, is politics by other means or with other means, meaning that there are political issues at stake here, and those are what need to be negotiated. He points out that the urgent need for war not to escalate, perhaps towards nuclear Armageddon, literally, demands that the issue of NATO expansion be negotiated immediately, adding, quote, there are other issues as well, but the point is this war needs to end because it's a disaster for everybody. It's a threat to the whole world. According to EU President Ursula von der Leyen last week, 100,000 Ukrainian soldiers have died, 20,000 civilians, and then the war continues. And so this is an utter disaster. And we've not searched for the political solution because they don't want to give an inch to Putin whatsoever. To return to Julian, though, the need for independent media that serve the public and scrutinize power has thus never been greater. And that's why I brought this article up. It kind of dovetails nicely into what we do a little bit. The pattern of the media calling for one war after another, as media analyst, the legend, Indie Media Award honoree Alan McLeod highlighted in a recent tweet, is persistent and abhorrent. Quote, bombing Iraq isn't enough. Bomb North Korea before it's too late. Quote, bomb Syria even if it's illegal. To stop Iran's bomb Iran. I mean, and so on it goes. This media promoted war fever, whose primary beneficiary is the Western military intelligence industrial complex, the Mickey Mat, as our friend Glory Jones likes to call him once in a while, must end for the sake of humanity. Yes. Let's go back to the legendary Julian. If we have a good media environment, then we will also have a peaceful environment. You're here to that. Free Julian Assange.
You owe me $5, by the way.
FJB. No, I didn't do it. I did not do. It's a happy Hanukkah.
What?
How do we miss that? No, I didn't. I did not.
No,
do that.
no.
No, I didn't.
Happy Hanukkah. That's the only song.
Right.
What? The Elon's reverting the decision.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yes.
And he's going to make it. We'll see. No, he's already like, yeah, my bad. And now we're going to make votes for any policy changes.
Emperor Elonicus has spoken. I have spoken.
Is that your Elon impression?
I guess. I don't really have one.
Okay.
We are on Rockfin, folks. Rockfin.com/IndLeftNews. It's free. It's ad-free. So if you don't have YouTube Premium and you hate ads, Rockfin.com/IndLeftNews. You can sign up for free. Literally, for free. It's free, guys. Did I tell you that it's free? Okay. So...
Yes.
And there's a lot of kick-ass premium content if you do want to sign up. And they actually they're about to raise the price if they haven't already. Not crazy about it, but I understand because they've added a ton of value and a ton of content creators. And they've been $9.99 a month for a long time. Now they're $14.99 a month premium for the entire platform. It's not just my channel, for every single channel on the platform, all their premium content, all the Jimmy Dore shows, all the Whitney Webbs, which you get a week early. You get the Whitney Webb stuff. You just get it a week later. All the Sabby Shabs, she makes some of her stuff premium occasionally. But you can find them on other platforms everywhere else. You just can't find them ad-free elsewhere. It's just, you want to see it ad-free, that's kind of what you got to do. Or you got to have YouTube Premium too. That'll work. But so Jesus wants to go to Venus. Yes, Levon likes his money. Yes. Thank you, Eric. Eric's doing. Is the Restream bot a Rumble thing? No, it's not a Rumble thing. It's actually a Restream thing. Restream is the streaming software that we use to go out live, and it helps us go out to multiple platforms. And one of the things it does is it relays between the INN channels and the Indie Left channel. So if you chat at one, I see it at the other, which is kind of cool.
You should see like where it's from, YouTube, and then the name of the person.
It also works
tries to have
on
some formatting there.
Yep, and it also works on
like that.
Twitch. See, like that one doesn't come over. Okay, so close that. I just got booted out of that.
Yay!
Nikki's here. Hi, Nikki, Kelly, and we got a couple dozen people. Nice, kick ass. And we got people over on the Rumbles too. Nice. We're getting some decent views, by the way. Also, rumble.com/independent left news or rumble.com/c/how did we miss that? We have our own channel over there. I never talk about that. I need to plug it for a minute. Put the timer up, Reef. All right. No. Over on Rumble lets you make channels for all different stuff. So we made a channel. I initially made it just for the clips of How Do We Miss That? And then we got live streaming ability. And I'm like, well, why don't we go live and do the live stream for the show on that channel too? And then put the clips there during the week and just make it an exclusive How Do We Miss That channel. So that's what that is. Rumble.com/c/How Do We Miss That? And you can go watch all the clips and you can see all the live streams that for the last few weeks that we've done because we've been streaming there too. So, timer over. Yes, Rockfin does need to make their UI not suck, and I'd love for them to work with Restream, but Restream wants like $15,000 a month according to the people that I've spoken to. They want a lot of money to integrate with the chat and with everything else. Uh-oh. Do I see a timer? Do I see an on-screen timer somewhere? No. Good. All right.
No.
Next story.
The verbal representation of one.
Thank you. Next story.
Of the Jeopardy theme song.
Bing, bing, bing. Yes. And we've got some new folks in the house. I just want to shout out and say, not even new folks, but more recent folks that we've been seeing lately. Lazy Quackhole, good to see you again this week. Mastermind Hour, same thing. Human Love, of course, always been around.
If you haven't,
OG,
go over there and sub to INN, Indie News Network.
Yep, Indie News.
You can find the links to that at IndieNews.Network.
They're also in the doobly-doos down below, all over the place.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, we're co-streaming to all the Indie News Network channels. But we are getting close to 1,000 subs on YouTube for INN. So if you could share out the INN channel as well and try to help us get that to 1,000, that will help us be able to get super chats, which would be really cool.
Thank you.
The other thing that I wanted to mention is Substack. I mentioned before that we're monetized over there. I put out a Substack every day. It's a 6-pack. I call it the 6-pack of videos to watch. Sometimes it's a clip from here. It's Jimmy Dore clips. It's live streams. It's RBN. It's a little bit of everything. It's variety, and I try to put one out 5 to 7 days a week, depending on how busy I am and motivated and whatever else we can talk about. But yeah, check out, now it's called IndieMedia.today, IndieMediaToday.substack.com. Change the name on that, so now it all aligns, and it makes it much easier, and it's separate from Indie Left News, because it is different. It's just a snippet of the videos in Indie Left News, which is the big mothership. So, let's get to our story here. And this is an interesting one. I found in one of my favorite outlets, OffGuardian, CJ Hopkins, Swimming with Sharks is the title of the article, and I'm like, okay, what do you mean? So I read about it, and he's talking about specifically the Twitter files and COVID narrative. So what's this all about? Check it. Now I did this little creative thing. This was his cover photo, and I grabbed the title and kind of laid it out, tried to get artsy with it a little bit more. So Elon's new free speech Twitter appears to be going extremely well. Tongue in cheek. Critics of the official COVID narrative and the official Ukraine narrative, and Elon Musk himself, are still being deplatformed, censored, and defamed, but otherwise, you can tweet whatever you want. Okay, sure, if you don't want to do that, and instead you want to tweet about the systematic destabilization and radical restructuring of global society that's been carried out by the global capitalist ruling classes during the past 3 years, or the most insidious official propaganda and gaslighting campaign in human history, or if you want to tweet out about neo-Nazis in Ukraine or anything else the Emperor Ilonicus, shout out to CJ Hopkins on that one, doesn't want you to tweet about, well, not to put it in too fine a point on it, you're fucked. Fucked as in suspended or censored or deboosted or visibility filtered, as we talked about. Or maybe your account is just hidden from view behind one of these fake sensitive content warnings.
Oh, it's the worst.
Right? Exactly as it was on
everywhere.
Non-free speech Twitter.
We're fucked.
Yes. So, but whatever. That's a small price to pay for the privilege of shitposting and owning the libs, which was the whole point of the Twitter takeover in the first place, wasn't it? I.e., revenge as opposed to actual free speech.
Revenge.
Who cares if scientists and medical experts and critics of the new normal are being censored? Andrew Anglin, the neo-Nazi editor of the Daily Stormer, is back. That'll certainly stick it to those shit libs. And then there's the release of the Twitter files, which is turning into a Le Car thriller. Yes, that's right. Ilonicus the Just is releasing in-house documentation of the rogue cabal of liberal bad apples that were arbitrarily censoring conservatives, not for any systematic ideological narrative enforcement reasons, but just because, well, they're liberals or leftists or cultural Marxists or whatever. I love CJ Hopkins. Fucking hilarious. I love this.
Le Car thriller sounds like the French title for what's the Stephen King?
Yes, Macabre. The what?
Christine.
Yes.
The one with the car?
Yes, Le Car thriller. Yes.
Le Car.
Part 2, of course, published by Barry Weiss on Thursday, which we covered last week. Focused on Twitter's notorious blacklists and included screenshots and other evidence of how Twitter executives censored, deranked, and otherwise intentionally disappeared and misrepresented information and political views they didn't like, and so decided that no one should be able to read. Part 3, published by Matt last night, documented the censorship and eventual deplatforming of Donald Trump, who was the president of the United States at the time. So yeah, another nothing burger. Sure. Fortunately, as it turns out, all this censorship, defamation, intentional deception of the public, interference in the political process, and so on was the work of, you guessed it, a few bad apples. Yoel Roth, Parag Agarwal, Vijaya Gandhi, yes, I know Vijaya, and other
shut your mouth.
bad apples who've all been fired or exited by Emperor Ilonicus. So that's all over now, and will never happen again. Pussy. Not as long as Ilonicus reigns. So great.
Oh,
I'm glad that proof of the
One more
shenanigans
thing.
that so many of us have been describing for years is finally definitively coming to light. However, eternal optimist that I am, I was hoping that the Twitter files would at least broach the subject of how the global corporatocracy and its government functionaries and the state and corporate media and global corporations like Twitter have gone more or less full-blown totalitarian and have been conducting a textbook Gleichschaltung campaign. I don't know how to pronounce that better. I'm not German, but CJ is based in Germany, imposing and enforcing ideological uniformity and systematically censoring those of us who have been questioning and challenging the official COVID narrative and that destabilization and radical restructuring of global society that I mentioned above. I want to shout out 3 people right now who don't normally get love and I wouldn't normally talk about, but James Young, Man of Talk, Steve Poikonen, Slow News Day, Ricky Rance. 3 of them who never really get talked about much at all, but have been screaming from the rooftops and have been running around and should feel very vindicated these days. And this is what CJ's been talking about. Let's not get sidetracked by all that narrative stuff. All that global capitalist totalitarianism stuff, or the countless people around the world that are dying suddenly or unexpectedly, which of course has nothing to do with multiple experimental quote-unquote vaccinations that they were deceived and are coerced into submitting to. No. Which Twitter and the rest of the global capitalist propaganda apparatus repeatedly assured us were safe and effective and censor those of us who suggested they might not be, or that we might not need to vaccinate every man, woman, and child on the planet, as Dr. J, of course, famously said, and others at the Great Barrington Declaration. All that stuff is water under the bridge. The important thing is American red-blue politics, right? That and get your jabs, everyone. Your 5th, 4th, 5th. I don't even know what we're up to now. Also, okay, before I get into the Twitter files further, I needed to do the full disclosure thing. And I kind of am going to share my feelings also. Similarly, I agree with CJ on this. As I'm sure you're aware, Elon Musk has chosen to release the selected Twitter files to Matt Taibbi and now also Barry Weiss instead of, just making them public. Well, I know Matt Taibbi. We communicate occasionally. He's blurbed a few of my books. I respect him. I like him. I am seriously biased towards Matt Taibbi. I would have Matt Taibbi's babies if he let me. Dude, I love this guy. Basically, I'm in love with Matt Taibbi and would probably be creepily stalking him right now if I lived in the USA instead of here in Germany. I don't know Barry Weiss at all, but from what I can tell, she seems like a nice lady.
He's nice.
Oh my god, dude, he kills me. All right,
Bullshit.
that's all right.
Bullshit.
Yes, nice.
She's fine.
She's nice too. Isn't that nice?
Bullshit. Spaghetti's fine. Hair
to,
is fine.
Tribute to George Carlin. Sorry, we're clanning around, but all right, that's my
Fucking
full disclosure. Let's get back to those Twitter files. All right. Well, according to the story, Baker, of course, we know, James Baker was doing this vetting unbeknownst to Elon, who had apparently just accidentally forgotten to fire his deputy general counsel, who he'd been aware of for at least 8 months, when he fired all those liberal bad apples. And so Elon, being totally in the dark, as it were, had absolutely no idea what Baker was doing to the Twitter files until Barry Weiss caught it and brought it to his attention. That bothers me, as in, I do not believe it. And here's a tweet Whoops. Looks like I accidentally forgot to fire the FBI guy that worked with the Clinton campaign on the Russiagate hoax and helped censor the laptop story at the issue in the Twitter files and was vetting the release of those files without my knowledge until today.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
Oh,
he just
Elon.
needs someone Photoshop a pinky on that photo.
Oh, Elon.
Just Photoshop that pinky
It's,
like right here.
It goes right there.
It's like the perfect face for that.
Okay.
Just Photoshop that upside down pinky.
CJ says again, I want to be clear what I'm saying. This is CJ Hopkins from OffGuardian. I want to be clear what I'm saying. I'm not questioning Matt's or Barry's motives or methods, and certainly not their characters. If I were in their positions, I'd be doing the same thing, getting my hands on as many Twitter files as possible and reporting the story that is there to report. This is the part that I loved. They are journalists. This is what journalists do. And again, Barry Weiss is a journalist, begrudgingly, but she is a journalist, okay? She's also a successful one. They've also been around the block a few times, so I assume they're aware when they're swimming with sharks, which is, again, getting back to the name of the title of the article. If they weren't previously, they certainly are now after this fishy Baker vetting business. What I'm saying is, how can we trust what they're getting? How many files were vetted by Baker? Why was he still in a position to vet them? Who's vetting the files now that Baker's been exited? Which files have been given to Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss, and which files have not been given to them? Or has everything been given to them? The reporting they're doing is like creating a collage. They can only work with the materials they're given, and the materials they're given will determine the story, or at least limit the nature and scope of the story. Also, and notwithstanding my respect and disturbing affection for Matt, neither Matt nor Barry Weiss have been particularly interested in covering the rollout of the official COVID narrative, i.e. the most insidious propaganda and gaslighting campaign in human history, or the destabilization and
or
radical
Ukraine
restructuring
stuff. Or like a lot of Assange stuff.
Of global society that I keep mentioning in this column and have been mentioning about extensively since March of 2020. Yes.
Or like a lot of Tara Reid stuff.
Yes, all of it. Yes. I don't think any of it, with the exception of Ukraine,
like
is to the
Palestine
scale,
stuff,
to the global scale that they foisted COVID upon the entire world. Okay,
RT stuff. There's got to be a whole file on RT shit, right?
What do we, dude? We literally just talked about all of that. Like,
I'm just saying.
Clip, yes. So even if Elon had dumped the entire Twitter database on Matt and Barry, I doubt that either of them are going to be exactly chomping at the bit to report that story. And this is CJ's point. Seriously, just imagine if they did. If you think the corporate media's reaction to Matt's initial Twitter files release was brutal, and it certainly was, imagine what would happen if he and Barry told the story of Twitter's role in the new global Gleitalschung campaign about COVID. They would likely lose everything. Publishers, book deals, literary agents, colleagues, friends. They would be excommunicated from the Hall of Seriousness, cast out to the outer darkness where the deny-listed souls of COVID-denying, conspiracy theorizing anti-vaxxers moan into the void for all eternity. Naomi Wolf, RFK Jr., I mean, we can name them. Because telling that story would mean documenting everything. The fabricated COVID cases and, quote, COVID death statistics, the lies about the lockdowns, the masks, Jimmy Dore would be vindicated, the vaccines, all of it. The whole new normal Megillah. Not how it's over now because the science changed, but how the whole thing was one enormous psyop, regardless of whether or how much it was intentional. Of course, thank you, Klaus. We know that it was all intentional. How much of it was manufactured with lies and propaganda from the very beginning in March of 2020? If it even started in March of 2020, I think it started in November of 2019, personally. Put yourself in Matt and Barry's position. If they tell that story, their lives will be destroyed. Go ahead, judge them if you want. I'm not interested in judgment personally. I'm interested in seeing things as they are and the way they are. Well, we have a little quandary here. A quandary regarding the Twitter files not turning out to be a limited hangout or being perceived as a limited hangout. And so in light of that little quandary...
I know you've suggested stuff.
And here
you suggested a whole list of journalists you would also like to?
Well, we could
Look at
start with the
those.
Indie Media Award honorees. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in light of this little quandary, here's a proposal for Elon. Maybe Matt or Barry or one of my high-profile right-wing readers can pass it on to him. You don't have to tell him where it came from. It's pretty simple. Here it is. Share the COVID narrative censorship Twitter files with journalists who want to tell that story. Let Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss keep telling the story they're telling, which, make no mistake, is of historic importance and is ultimately part of the larger story that the COVID narrative censorship is also part of. But share the files with other journalists who don't have as much to lose, or who are willing to lose it to report the story, or who have already lost it and don't give a shit. If you actually meant Vox Populi, Vox Dei, then how about a little Vox Populi, Elon? So good.
Mm-hmm.
If Elon is serious about coming clean, challenge, thrown down. Now it is up to you, sir, to accept it. If Elon is serious about coming clean and defending the freedom of speech and all that stuff, and not just whitewashing the company he just bought and orchestrating an elaborate limited hangout, he can prove it by offering the COVID narrative censorship Twitter files to a few other journalists who want to report that story, who want to report that story right now, not 2 years from now when no one cares anymore. I have a hunch he might get a few takers. I have a couple of names. Someone who's been censored off of Twitter also, an Indie Media honoree, Last American Vagabond, Ryan Christian. Indie Media Award honoree, Whitney Webb. I know she would want to tell that story. These guys at the OffGuardian, 100%, they would tell that story. A lot of outlets won't. Consortium News would tell that story. Mint Press would tell that story. Yeah. Who's CJ? CJ Hopkins. Just to lay out who this guy is and how good he is. ConsentFactory.org or CJHopkins.com. And as long as you can follow him on Twitter till he gets banned and censored, Consent Factory over there. He's an award-winning playwright, novelist, political satirist based in Berlin. You know, plays are published by Bloomsbury Publishing, Broadway Plays. His dystopian novel Zone 23. Okay, and all of his Consent Factory essays are published by Consent Factory Publishing, a wholly owned subsidiary of Amalgamated Content Inc., which I believe he owns. Support independent journalists like OffGuardian and CJ Hopkins. OffGuardian is a fantastic outlet, big fan. So that is our second article before we get to the Twitter files. But Christopher Dobby. What's up, Christopher? Good to see you, man. Richard Thunder, Dr. Richard Thunder.
Given Dobby a suck.
Dobby has gifted me.
Dobby is free.
Master has gifted me with a sock. And he probably hates it when people do that, so I'm really sorry. But it's so good to see you here. Why doesn't Matt Taibbi go on the Jimmy Dore show? He has gone on Jimmy Dore. It's just been a while.
Few times.
I'm guessing he's making the rounds. I can't really answer that. I don't really know what their relationship or how they're booking and how it's working out. I know, Jimmy makes pretty special exceptions, and if they called Matt, I would guess that Matt would do the interview. He's gone everywhere to talk about this stuff so far. And he's gone on with Glenn, and he's gone on with, I don't know if he's gone on with Lee Camp yet, but he went on Useful Idiots. I saw he's no longer on that show anymore, or on the podcast, but he went on as a guest and talked about Twitter files. He's been making the rounds. I'm guessing we'll find him on Jimmy sometime soon. But I did want to get to breaking down the Twitter files, but let's see who else. Anything else in chat? DJ Comatose, what's up, dude? Good to see you here too. Dr. Richard Thunder, I hear that thunder. You better run. You better take over. Dana Fairbanks, how are you? Thank you. So good to see you here. Thank you for sharing that Substack earlier. That was our Rockfin announcement from back in March. And it's incredible how quickly Tara's and my channels have grown. We launched basically on the same day. And she's been ahead of me, and that's no surprise, and she should be. But we're both, I think she's getting close to 3,000 followers, and we're getting close to 28 or 2,900 followers over there. And again, we love the people over at Rockfin. I just wish more people were over there. People at Rumble are great. People at Odyssey are great. We've got connections, contacts at all three companies, and I'm a big fan of all these alternate platforms. And we've got to get off these mega billionaire owned platforms. And Rumble, of course, is owned by a somewhat mega billionaire, but it's at least not YouTube, and they're not trying to censor like YouTube's doing it. So thank you so much, Eric T. Red, that my email newsletters rock. Appreciate that. Yeah, you get that every day at noon. IndieLeft.news, INDIE left.news. I'm sure it shows up in the night bot at some point. And then of course we have the Substack too, and that's gonna go out when I can publish it. And one went out tonight alerting the show, so you can see it on all the links to all the platforms there and all the stories, and then afterwards all the stories and all the links to that'll be there too. Substack's a great home for all this content. So we have
doing a second Substack ad?
No, I'm done. I'm not doing another one.
A second?
No,
oh,
I'm not doing another one.
If I hear one more Substack at the end of the night,
I'm done.
We're gonna take away your gold stars.
All right, again, here we go. Shout out to Greg, because I told him I needed a Trump NFT.
You're back to shout outs.
I needed it. Well, look. Somebody pointed out that Trump has got a bit of a camel toe show in there, on his superhero.
I think that's
outfit.
just the head of the mushroom.
It might. No, it's definitely a split right down the middle. So
it's just only wide.
This is all about.
Length.
We're going to go through episodes through Twitter Files 4 and 5, which is about the decision to remove Trump and then the actual removal of Trump himself. So that's why I figured it was appropriate, on top of the fact that he did the NFTs, which sold out, of course, because he sells out everything to his loyal followers and fans. And this starts out with Michael Schellenberger, who I think is over at the Free Press or whatever Barry Weiss's outlet is. He's one of the writers over there. He's also been one of the three people that's been publishing the Twitter Files. This is his first. And this was about the removal of Donald Trump from January 7th. All right. And you can see, again, it's got 45,000 likes and 17,000 retweets. It's got some action on it. And we're going to use a thread reader so that we don't have to see all the tweets. But as the pressure builds, Twitter execs build the case. And we covered this at the end of last week, that on January 7th, senior executives create justifications to ban him. They seek a change of policy for him alone. Distinct from other political leaders, they express no concern for free speech or democracy implications of a ban. And this is reported with Elle Woodhouse. And I don't remember who Elle Woodhouse is, but this is some really good reporting, I have to say. That for years, Twitter had resisted calls to ban Trump. And blocking a world leader in their policy, as it wrote in 2018, would hide important info and hamper necessary discussion around their words and actions. So this gets interesting about the policy and when they decide to censor a world leader. After the events of January 6th, internal and external pressure on Jack grows for Michelle Obama, Kara Swisher, ADL, Saka, many others they want to ban. As it turns out, Jack was on vacation in French Polynesia that week. He phoned into meetings, but also delegated much of the handling of the situation to senior execs Yoel Roth, Vijaya.
Okay. Vijaya, watch your mouth. This is a family show.
Boys have a paraga. Girls
just say
have a
pussy.
vagina.
Just go ahead and say it.
Pussy.
Thank you. As context, it's important to understand. I had to let her finish. It's important to understand that Twitter's staff and senior execs were overwhelmingly progressive. And we pointed this out last week as well, that in 2018, 2020, and 2022, 96, 98, 99% of Twitter's staff political donations went to Democrats, respectively. In 2017, Roth tweeted, "There were actual Nazis in the White House." You know what? In all fairness, so did I. So did I.
Effing F.
I was a shit lib in 2017. I'll admit it. I was still TYT.
Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
I did get some help. Thank you. I got Richard Medhurst and I got Jimmy Dore. I got some help. In April of 2022, though, Roth told a colleague that his goal is to drive change in the world, which is why he decided not to become an academic. Again, right from Slack, that person in pink is clearly a bigger threat to your brand of feminism than actual Nazis in the White House. We can talk about Yoel Roth and his proclivities, and some of his Twitter posts are pretty racy, I have to say. But on January 7th, Jack emails employees saying Twitter needs to remain consistent in its policies, including the right of users to return to Twitter after a temporary suspension. After, Roth reassures employee that people who care about this aren't happy with where we are. It's such like lib speak. All right. Yeah. There's an opportunity to help people understand that. I mean, it's very corporate. It's very PC. It's very, it's clear they just want to know that someone is doing something about this. And it's not that we're ignoring the issues here. The issues being censorship. No. All right. Yes. Around 11:30 in the morning Pacific time, Roth DMs his colleagues with news that he's excited to share. Guess what? Jack just approved repeat offender for civic integrity. New approach create a system where 5 violations or strikes would result in a permanent suspension. And guess what? Trump has already got 4. Progress. The exchange between Roth and his colleagues makes clear that they had been pushing Jack for greater restrictions on the speech Twitter allows around elections. Colleague wants to know what the decision means Trump can finally be banned. Person asks, does the incitement to violence aspect change that calculus? Roth says it doesn't. Trump continues to just have his 1 strike remaining. Right. So, Roth's colleague query about incitement to violence heavily foreshadows what will happen the following day. On January 8th, Twitter announces a permanent ban on Trump due to the risk of further incitement of violence. Kind of interesting, huh? That phrase is used. Now, last week we were talking about a certain employee, and as it turns out, that employee was ex-Intel and scrubbed his LinkedIn profile. So, hey, how about that? On January 8th, Twitter says its ban is based specifically on how Trump's tweets are being received and interpreted. So now they are, they're now interpreters. In 2019, Twitter said it did not attempt to determine all potential interpretations of the content of its intent, right? Specific to their policy on world leaders. An update. Why? The only serious concern we found expressed within Twitter over the implications for free speech and democracy of banning Trump came from a junior person in the organization, and it was tucked away in a lower-level Slack channel known as Site Integrity Auto. And he says, whoever this person was, this might be an unpopular opinion, but one-off ad hoc decisions like this don't appear to be rooted in policy or, in my honest opinion, a slippery slope and reflect an alternatively equal dictatorial problem. This now appears to be a fiat by online platform CEO with a global presence that can gatekeep speech for the entire world, which seems unsustainable. Wow, that sounds a lot like something that I kind of talked about today. Anyway, Twitter employees use the term one-off frequently in their Slack discussions. Its frequent use reveals significant employee discretion over when and whether to apply warning labels on tweets and strikes on users. Here are typical examples. So here's somebody, USA secession. We're trying to understand the one-off decision here. And here's another one saying there's always abuse one-off, right? One-off is the option from bounce. Recall from Twitter Files 2 that according to Twitter staff, we control visibility quite a bit, and we control the amplification of your content quite a bit. And normal people do not know how much we do. We focused on that sentence very closely. Twitter employees recognize the difference between their own politics and Twitter's TOS, but they also engage in complex interpretations of content in order to stamp out prohibited tweets as a series of exchange over #StopTheSteal review. Right? So what he says is that Yoel Roth, he's having a conversation with somebody whose name is blacked out, I saw the hashtag and then did a search on it, and all the content was appalling. So I don't think it's showing up elsewhere. Thank you for all you're doing. I'll flag the election squad. We're proactively surfacing that content for review under civic integrity, and it should be blocked from Typehead and Trends. And you're seeing it in either of the latter. I mean, this is controlling speech and narrative, right? Roth immediately DMs a colleague to ask that they add hashtag Stop the Steal and QAnon conspiracy term Kraken to a blacklist of terms to be de-amplified. Roth's colleague objects to the blacklisting Stop the Steal risk, de-amplifying counter speech that validates the election. Yes. Why do you need to silence people if...
You know about Phil, right?
Phil McCracken?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but that's not this one.
Yeah.
This is Sidney Powell's release to Kraken.
Oh.
Indeed notes Roth's colleague a quick search
Phil
of top Stop the Steal tweets and their counter speech. But they quickly come up with a solution. De-amplify accounts with Stop the Steal in the name or profile, since those are not affiliated with counter speech specific to an incident or they're just across the board. But it turns out that even blacklisting Kraken is less straightforward than they thought, because Kraken, in addition to being a QAnon conspiracy theory based on the mythological Norwegian sea monster, is also the name of a cryptocurrency exchange and was thus allow listed. Another one of these dystopian Orwellian unwords, allow listed. They used to call that whitelisted, but that's now considered racist. So now it's allow listed, I guess. And maybe that's better for the change. The change for the better. Honestly, I don't know. It just seems Orwellian. Allow listed versus deny listed. Employees struggle with whether to punish users who shared screenshots of Trump's deleted January 6th tweets. They're saying we should bounce those tweets with a strike, given that the screenshot violates the policy. And somebody says they're criticizing Trump, so I'm a bit hesitant with applying the strike to this user. This also is where we get into a slippery slope. You can do the Trumpy voice, read the tweet.
These are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home with love and in peace. Remember this day forever.
I like it better than anything else.
No,
that was forever. Right, we should bounce it again. Forever. So they're saying I'm a bit hesitant. So now that what they're trying to determine is intent. What if a user dislikes Trump and objects to Twitter's censorship? The tweet still gets deleted. But since the intention is not to deny the election result, no punishing strike is applied. Quote, if there are instances when intent is unclear, please feel free to raise. How about like all of them? So here's a few more. Here's another one that says, I don't even like the man, but I'm not going to put up with Twitter deleting opinions they don't like.
You're wrong.
Again, sounds like today.
Wrong.
Right.
Wrong.
So again, if there are instances where they're unclear, would agree, delete only in instances where the content is not shared with abusive intent. They are now determining people's tone and their tone policing. Around noon, a confused senior executive in advertising sends a DM to Roth. I love this because I'm in sales, so like a sales guy came up with this. Sales exec. Jack says, we'll permanently suspend Trump before policies are violated after a 12-hour account lock. What policies is Jack talking about? Well, Roth comes back and says, any policy violation. Holy shit. Yes. And here's the messaging. JP, and his name is JP, whoever he is. JP, legend, by the way, for internal awareness. But before sharing anything, please coordinate with so-and-so on the comms side. Obviously, a ton of interest in our position on this. Want to ensure we stay aligned. Dude, this guy was such a corporate worm. I mean, literally, he looks like Jeff Miami. I think he might be Jeff Miami.
Probably.
What happens next is essential to understanding how Twitter justified.
I mean, you've not seen
Trump.
Yoel Roth and Geoff Miami in the same room,
right?
So.
Sales exec says we are dropping the public interest policy now. Roth 6 hours later. In this specific case, we're changing our policy with our public interest approach for his account. Though we do have work planned on revisions in the first half of 2021. Great. When he's not president anymore. Yeah, that revision, by the way, which you're going to find out, they wanted to completely ban him permanently once he wasn't president anymore. That was their plan either way. So, this ad exec is referring to Twitter's policy of public interest exceptions, which allows the content of elected officials, even if it violates Twitter rules, if it directly contributes to understanding or discussion of a matter of public concern. Right? So this is where they're going to try to use and limit, but you're going to see the hypocrisy here. And Barry Weiss is going to point that out in part 5. But Roth pushes for permanent suspension of Matt Gaetz, even though it doesn't quite fit anywhere. Duh. All right. It's kind of a test case for rationale for banning Trump. I'm trying to talk Twitter's safety team into removal as a conspiracy that incites violence. All right. And that's about Antifa and SIPPIZ and SI are working on that. These are all these teams. And Vijaya was directionally okay. Yeah, see here. I'm trying to talk to safety. I think we'll get over the line for removal as a conspiracy that incites violence. Vijaya was directionally okay with it. So already you've got like legal and compliance, and they're all already trying to get rid of this guy. Amazingly, Matt Gaetz never gets taken off of Twitter. Around 2:30, comms execs DM Roth to say that they don't want to make a big deal of the QAnon ban to the media because they fear if we push this, it looks like we're trying to offer up something in place of the thing everyone wants, meaning a Trump ban. Well, yeah. We can explain why if we're asked, but worry that if we push, it looks like we're trying to offer it. Yep. And Yoel acknowledges that. Yep. He doesn't care. That evening, a Twitter engineer DMs Roth again to say, I feel a lot of debates around exceptions stem from the fact that Trump's account is not technically different from anybody else, and yet treated differently due to his personal status without corresponding Twitter rules, to clarify the responsibilities that should come with that status. You're holding him to a standard and not telling him what the rules are. That's what they're saying. And Roth's response hints again at how Twitter would justify deviating from its long-standing policy, which is to put a different spin on it. Policy is one part of the system, how Twitter works. We ran into the world changing faster than we were able to either adapt the product or the policy. So, fuck you. This is how it is. We had to adapt fast. This is not. We can and should do both, not directly. So, the evening of January 7th, the same junior employee who expressed the unpopular opinion originally about ad hoc decisions speaks up one last time before the end of the day. Bless that employee, man. What kind of courage they had. The only serious concern we found expressed, and again, I grabbed that tweet again from earlier, and I'm re-showing that. What that concern was that doesn't appear to be rooted in policy. Speaks up one last time. Earlier in the day, they wrote that their concern specifically surrounding the unarticulated logic of the decision by Facebook. That space fills with the idea, conspiracy theory, that all internet moguls sit around like kings, casually deciding what people can and cannot see. And they linked to this 1-0 article. Will Oremus noted the inconsistency too. Linking to this article, Facebook chuckled. It chucked its own rule book to ban Trump. Right? The underlying problem is that the dominant platforms have always been loath to own up to their subjectivity because it highlights the extraordinary, unfettered power they wield over the global public square and places the responsibility for that power on their own shoulders. So they hide behind an ever-changing rulebook, alternately pointing to it when it's convenient and shoving it under the nearest rug when it isn't. Facebook's suspension of Trump now puts Twitter in an awkward position. If Trump does indeed return to Twitter, the pressure on Twitter will ramp up to find a pretext on which to ban him as well. Indeed, and as Barry will show in the next Twitter files, that's exactly what ended up happening. And I wanted to stop here for a minute and just kind of go over, like, there wasn't that much to that, but there still was quite a bit. Yoel Roth, I'm glad they removed him. there's been a lot, and he had to move, and there's been a lot of backlash about in the corporate media about Yoel Roth and hand wringing and crying, and he's been doxxed and he's had to move. And look, man, I feel bad. Nobody should be doxxed. It's terrible. There needs to be accountability for that, and I don't think there ever will be anywhere. And people are mad. People who, like, again, we could go back and watch the dueling election denials again. You know, the video that Turncoat Don made, and he's just completely partisan, and it's wrong. It's wrong on either side to be that kind of partisan. And again, between all of them, it's not just that they're political donations between them and all the Twitter employees. It was a real, you know, they didn't know what to do. I can see that there's tons of confusion in these messages. There's no guidance coming. And I wanted to point out, again, Jack was in French Polynesia. How involved was he in the day-to-day in those 4 days or 3 days in the lead up, where it says right early on that he outsourced a lot of those decisions to Parag, to Vijaya, and to Yoel Roth, who he was in close contact with. So he's getting their perspective, and he's getting their take on the whole situation, where they're like, we got to ban this guy. We got to ban this guy. He's going to get somebody killed. They're screaming and they're fear-mongering the hell out of this guy. And he's on vacation with his family in French Polynesia. You think he's plugged into what's happening? I just don't. I don't. Not only that, but he's also the CEO of another company that's on the Fortune 500. Oh yeah, there's that too. Anyway, I did want to get back to, unless you had something that you wanted to add about part 4, we can get to part 5. Cool.
Yep.
So, this is specifically about the removal of Trump. So, on the morning of January 8th, Donald Trump, with his one remaining strike, as he knows, I think he doesn't even know that he's got one left, but before being at risk of permanent suspension, tweets twice. The first one, here you go, 6:46 a.m. Reef.
What is that, 75 million?
Yep.
The 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first, and make America great again will have a giant voice, huge voice, long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form.
All right.
To me, he's just a New Jersey car salesman, so that's the voice I go with.
Yeah.
You know?
That's pretty good.
Got a nice car, no down payment, like, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Right?
Like,
so, and here's the other one at 7:44.
Falls off the fucking hubcaps.
Yep.
On the fucking
90-day warranty
anyway.
on every car on the lot.
Yep.
So
90-day. So generous.
At 7:44 a.m. he then tweets his final tweet. Oh, it sounds like, yep.
To all of those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th.
Now again, 600,000 likes, 100,000 quote tweets, 76,000 retweets. For years, Twitter had resisted calls.
People tell me.
Both internal and external, to ban Trump on the grounds that blocking a world leader from the platform or removing their controversial tweets would hide important information that people should be able to see and debate. We just talked about that.
People have told me that's bad.
We grabbed the policy, but after January 6th, as Taibbi and Schellenberger have documented, pressure grew both inside and outside Twitter to ban him. There were dissenters inside Twitter. Here's someone who says, maybe because I'm from China, I deeply understand how censorship can destroy the public conversation.
Yep.
Okay. And here's someone trying to allay that fear. I understand this, but I think it's important to understand that censorship by a government is very different than censorship of the government. First Amendment in the U.S. and similar legislation in other countries with similar concepts exists specifically to prevent the government from silencing the people.
What
I
about
respect
other
that.
governments?
Right. Well, that's enough. Our government using Twitter to silence other governments on top of that. No, don't talk about that. Don't ask Argentinian why they have all those German last names either. I respect that, but realistically, we impose far stricter
Italian
rules. Well,
don't forget Italian.
On effectively everyone else on the platform. Okay, so we start looking at this, and voices like that one appear to have been a distinct minority within the company. Across Slack channels, many Twitter employees were upset that Trump hadn't been banned earlier. After January 6th, Twitter employees organized to demand their employer ban Trump. There's a lot of employee advocacy happening, said one Twitter employee, right? So I'm still struggling to understand the decision not to ban him. I think it'll lead to getting people killed. This is the elephant in the room.
He's inciting violence.
These are all these different conversations. And like somebody said, is there a channel where we can share these concerns? So they put this weird acronym channel. I'm Jack AMA is the channel name, I believe. Right. I understand he was our president and that he may have been the reason why we were hesitant to do it. But come January 20th, there's absolutely no excuse why his account shouldn't be suspended for good. I have friends with with 1,000 followers that have been suspended for less, I'm sure is what that person said. So again, we have to do the right thing.
They're not wrong there.
Well, no, we have to do the right thing and ban this account. It's pretty obvious he's going to try to thread the needle of incitement without violating the rules, right? This person repeats like stuttering. Okay, we don't. But here somebody says we don't have a good track record of acting on his account, except in the clearest and most explicit case of cases. And even then, they said, yeah, extraordinary circumstances demand extraordinary leadership. No, you want to demand extraordinary censorship. It took 3 years, but I've lost faith. Actual votes. Somebody had to remind them that the man had 74,000 votes.
Yep.
Okay. Second, it's pretty obvious he's going to try to thread the needle without violating. So, in the early afternoon, WAPO publishes an open letter signed by over 300 Twitter employees to Jack Dorsey demanding Trump's ban. How they were able to quickly get that many employees to call the Washington Post and agree to sign on to this petition. Wow. But the Twitter staff assigned to evaluate tweets quickly concluded that Trump had not violated Twitter's policies. I want to make that clear again. Trump had not violated Twitter's policies. Quote, I think we'd have a hard time saying this is incitement. Here's another one saying, it's pretty clear that he's saying the American patriots are the ones who voted for him and not the terrorists from Wednesday. We can call them that, right? Whatever, they're rioters. All right. I see that so-and-so has pinged us to ask about incitement, and here's what they're saying in there. What PC could it be trying to incite fear about? I don't see it. What PC could it be? So I think we'd have a hard time. It's pretty clear he's saying the American. Okay, so I don't see the incitement angle here. Annika Navaroli, who's a Twitter policy official, interesting that she's defending Trump and they put her name out. They redact everybody else's names except Roth and a couple others that are public. I'll respond in the elections channel and say that our team has assessed and found no violations for the Donald Trump one. Right? Flagging that Yoel is looking for assessment of the Trump tweet. Of course, Yoel just is hot to ban this guy. He's got to get him out. She does just that. And as an FYI, so here's the post from her into that Slack channel she promised to notify. For months, I had been begging and anticipating and attempting to raise the reality that if nothing, we made no intervention into what I saw coming, that people were going to die. Which I guess they're saying Ashley Babbitt, maybe, that there's a narrative around a couple of cops. Ashley Babbitt was definitely killed, but by whom still is a good question. Next, Twitter safety team decides that Trump's 7:44 in the morning tweet is also not in violation. No clear bio. Just to say he's not attending the inauguration. Well, other people are going to say, but to understand their decision on Trump, we must consider how they deal with other heads of state and political leaders, including Iran, Nigeria, and Ethiopia. This is also really interesting.
And Russia.
Well, we're going to talk about Russia later on because she makes a reference to a Russian person that is not the leader of Russia. Really gives herself a big reveal in my mind. But in June of 2018, the Ayatollah Khamenei in Iran tweeted, Israel is a malignant cancerous tumor on the West Asian region that has to be removed and eradicated. It's possible and it will happen. He tweeted that tweet is still up today. Twitter neither deleted the tweet nor banned the Ayatollah. That seems to be way
look like a wizard.
That seems to be way more
wizard
incitement than Trump's tweet. In October of 2020, the former Malaysian prime minister said it was a right for Muslims to millions of French people. Seriously, Twitter deleted his tweet for glorifying violence, but he remains on the platform. The tweet below was taken from the Wayback Machine. And then, of course, we've got Muhammadu Buhari, who's the president of Nigeria. He incited violence against pro-Biafra groups. Those of us in the fields for 30 months who went through war, he wrote, will treat them in a language they understand. Twitter deleted the tweet, but didn't ban Buhari. And here in October of 2021, Twitter allowed Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to call on citizens to take up arms against the Tigray region. Twitter allowed the tweet to remain up and did not ban the Prime Minister. So now you've got like all policy all over the place. In early February 2021, Narendra Modi's government threatened in India to arrest Twitter employees and to incarcerate them for up to 7 years after they restored hundreds of accounts that have been critical of him. Twitter didn't ban Modi either. But Twitter executives did ban Trump, even though key staffers said that Trump had not incited violence, even in a coded way. Less than 90 minutes.
In that. I was just going to say that terrifying demon Vijaya down there.
Right? Less than 90 minutes after Twitter employees had determined that Trump's tweets were not in violation of Twitter policy, Vijaya asked whether or not it could, in fact, be coded incitement to further violence. And here we go. Now she's really trying to interpret every single word and the meaning of every single word this guy is using. Even if it's him even tweeting it himself. All right. So, use of the term American patriots and they will not be disrespected. This is an interesting question. I'm going to speak with my team ASAP to see if we can run a quick survey and get reactions to the language contained in the tweet and get back to you. She's very, very corporate. Very PC and wants to run this everything through a committee and cover her butt, but at the same time, narrative manage with protection. All right. A few minutes later, Twitter employees on the scaled enforcement team suggest that Trump's tweet may have violated Twitter's glorification of violence policy if you interpreted the phrase American patriots to refer to the rioters. This is where it starts to get tricky. Right? Just in case scale tips the balance and that becomes a decision, I think it would be helpful to have a write-up of what a violation assessment could look like. Things escalate from there. Members of that team came to view him as the leader of a terrorist group responsible for the violence and deaths comparable to the Christchurch shooter or Hitler. And on that basis, on the totality of his tweets, he should be deplatformed. 2 hours later, Twitter executives host a 30-minute all-staff meeting. Jack and Vijaya answer staff questions as to why Trump wasn't banned yet, but that only makes some employees angrier. Multiple tweets, well, that's what they call their employees, right, have quoted the banality of evil, suggesting that people implementing our policies are like Nazis following orders, relays Yoel Roth to a colleague. Yoel Roth, not cool. All right. Yeah, he says, candidly, not a lot of people who are close to the decisions would feel safe engaging there. Multiple tweets have quoted the banality of evil, suggesting that people implementing our policies are like Nazis following orders, which, as someone responsible for our policies who had direct family members in Auschwitz, is not exactly an environment I want to wade into. So now he's literally using like anti-Semitism type of and I'm a Jew, and I would not use that as justification to ban somebody like this. This is ridiculous, okay? All right. Not exactly an environment I want to wade into. People are angry and want to express themselves. He's angry. But the way the conversation happens can close off meaningful engagement. Yes, agreed. But canceling them on Twitter is not the answer either. Dorsey requested simpler language to explain Trump's suspension. Roth wrote, God help us. This makes me think he wants to share it publicly. Yes, you have to. We get close to suspension. An analysis of 8chan or Parler is part of the decision. Any links to that content would be helpful for us with trusted. If possible, I'd like these services to pay a price here. So now you're trying to punish other websites. All right. So 1 hour later, Twitter announces Trump's permanent suspension due to the risk of further incitement of violence. Quote, right? Many at Twitter, of course, were ecstatic. And congratulatory, big props to whoever in trust and safety is sitting there whack-a-moling these Trump accounts. Because I think I remember that people were setting up fake accounts and new accounts every minute.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get one of those awesome cards I've heard about? Like Don Jr.'s account needs to be locked too, because they figured he'd grab his son's phone and start tweeting there. By the next day, employees expressed eagerness to tackle the medical misinformation as soon as possible. So they got censor happy. They weren't like hesitant. It went the other direction. They got excited. So we absolutely plan to do this in 2021 with the timeline being, quote, as soon as possible. COVID is one specific disease. Medical misinformation is a much broader category of harmful content. We've laid out a lot of the groundwork for policy and product behavior through our work on COVID and the election, the misinfo policy in the terms and services, along with folks in the health experience, TWS research, and other teams across the company are now focused on getting a place of improved maturity in how our policies are actualized. We'll have more to share on this soon. Very excitedly. Censors. Now, this, which is kind of interesting, I seem to recall that there was maybe it was in 2022, but there was a bunch of people starting Facebook groups or Twitter DM threads, and they were calling themselves the anti-vax hunters. I'm wondering if this and they have anything to do with each other. For the longest time, Twitter's stance was that we aren't the arbiter of truth with another employee, which I respected, but never gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling. Even for COVID, we only covered a narrow category of information. As an example is take vitamin C, vitamin D, elderberry, and Zytol, which you eat daily to reduce COVID risk. Good information, creative marketing, or misinformation. Personally, I'm not sure, and I suspect there are views on both sides. But to block it, Twitter's COO, who would later succeed Dorsey as CEO, told head of security Mudge Zatko, what a great name, I think few of us should brainstorm the ripple effects of Trump's ban. And she added, centralized content moderation, IMO, has reached a breaking point now. Yes, but what they're talking about again is now creating like a censorship team that's now looking at this stuff regularly. Now, outside the United States, this is what really pisses me off. Twitter's decision to ban Trump raised alarms, including with French President Emmanuel Macron, German Prime Minister Angela Merkel, and Mexico's President AMLO. Macron told an audience he didn't want to live in a democracy where the key decisions were made by private players. I agree with the neolib there. Quote, I want it to be decided by a law voted by your representative or by regulation, governance, democratically discussed and approved by democratic leaders. That's tweet number 39. Amen. Right? And this is what we talked about. This is what we talked about in the first story, tying this all back, which is in the control over narrative, in the shadow governance of private enterprise that is superseding the laws that we've put in place in our country. And they're just arbitrarily implementing their own laws. Yes. Now, here's what really pisses me off is in tweet 40. Merkel's spokesman called Twitter's decision to ban Trump from its platform problematic and added the freedom of opinion is elementary significance, and that's fine. The next sentence is really problematic. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny criticized the ban as unacceptable act of censorship. I don't give a flying fuck what Alexei Navalny says, and the fact that you included him is insulting and cheapens this entire thread and this entire investigation and this entire reporting, Barry Weiss. Disgusting. Disgusting. He's a CIA plant.
Disgusting.
You completely made this political, and I'm disgusted.
Yes, yeah, but it's opposition.
But wait.
Opposition leader.
He's not an opposition leader. He's nobody. He's a CIA agent. Who said he was an opposition leader other than the Western press? Nobody.
Yes.
Now, whether you agree with Navalny or Macron, now you're literally equating him with a world leader who's been elected by population. Are you kidding me? Or the executives of Twitter, we hope this latest installment of the Twitter Files gave you insight into that unprecedented decision. Barry Weiss, gross. Ew. Okay? Now, the rest of the reporting is great, but that really just... What are you doing? What are you doing? Get this guy out of the Twitter Files. He has no business. He's not a world leader. His opinion doesn't matter. And he has no influence on anything having to do with policy anywhere in the world. So I don't want to hear from him. Everyone else that you mentioned, they had effect on policy. Alexei Navalny did not. On top of that, yeah, just dirty. The whole thing is dirty. From the outset, our goal in investigating the story was to discover and document the steps leading up to the banning of Trump and to put that choice into context, which that's nice for you. I don't really, that's only one part of the story. Ultimately, the concerns about Twitter's efforts to censor news about Hunter Biden's laptop, blacklist disfavored views, ban a president aren't about the past choices of executives in a social media company. They're about the power of a handful of people at a private company to influence the public discourse and democracy. This was reported by Michael Schellenberger, Isaac Rastine, Snoozy Weiss, which I don't know if that's Barry Weiss or not, Olivia Reingold, Peter Savodnik, Nellie Bowles. Follow all their work at the Free Press. And that's a Substack also. I agree with a lot of it. I'm allowed to disagree with some of it. And the mention of Navalny is completely suspect.
Bro, if you disagree with any of it, you're anti-Semitic now.
Apparently, yes. Thank you, Yipper, for calling me an anti-Semite. Yes, the Jew on Hanukkah calling out Barry Weiss as an anti-Semite. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a self-hating Jew. I know.
Yep.
That's what they call me. I'm not an anti-Semite. I'm a self-hating Jew. Come on, get the terminology right. And that is my... Okay, see, I went a little bit long, but not too bad.
TED Talk?
That's my TED Talk for tonight. Barry plugging her Substack at the end of his classes. Actually, it is and it's not, because that's kind of what Matt Taibbi's done. That's where he's public.
Yeah, but that would have got her banned off Twitter 20 minutes ago.
Substack wasn't included in the ban. It's just that it was. Find me on Truth Social. It definitely would have. But yeah, cancel Indy. That's it. Yep, I know, Yipper. I'm canceled. Cancel. I'll accept that. Yeah, not opposition. Op. DJ Comatose, yes, I maybe to a point. I still think that part of this is to absolve his company and to move forward and purge all the people who weren't and kind of mea culpa whatever they have done and try to move forward. I think part of it is self-serving in his own interests, 100%. Oz, welcome to the show. Glad you were here for this. Eric T. Red, thank you. Orwellian, someone should tell these shitlibs to read a book, 100%. Okay? And this is the thing that really 100%. Just 100, 200%, 1,000%. The shitlib really just completely took 100%. Over here. And it's not cool. It's not cool. It's snowing in Reef cool, Studio. Man. Yes, it is. Colin, Care Bears in the house.
Burned down my houseboat. That's not cool.
New Jersey car salesman. Well, I know a few of those. And you know what? Don't denigrate my New Jersey car salesman, because those are some of my favorite people on this planet. Yeah, Twitter Files revealing the underbelly of a dictatorship of the PMC bourgeoisie, as technocratic and bureaucratic as you'd expect, every bit as effective in any tin pot iron fist. Hell yeah, dude. .com. That's a great comment. Let me put that up there. Boom. Okay, that's a good one.
Every time I hear Yoel, I do not think Roth. I think Romero. You know?
Yep.
It's just me.
What does 8chan have to do with Twitter? Nothing.
Fucking-
Absolutely not. That's right. Because what their claim, and this is the shitlib mentality, is that things filter down from 8chan and 4chan to Daily Stormer to this thing to the blogs to Reddit
What's up,
to
Care Bear?
Twitter. This is kind of how it makes it down the funnel. Need due process at minimum, absolutely. All right. And Kelly M, I'll be unsurprised when Elon drags this cesspool full of shitlib sock puppets through the mud, ruins the platform completely, and then uses socialist bankruptcy to get all his money back. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. And by the way, I had signed up for Mastodon account back in March. In March. And it so I went back over there and I checked out who's on, and it's literally like who it's suggesting. I downloaded the app and it's
George Takai.
Yep.
Oh my.
And Robert Reich and every
like Ukrainian headshots.
every shitlib
fucking monthly or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Right? I mean it's brutal. So if I go to the search there and then I go over to the For You,
just don't.
All right.
No, just don't do that.
Don't do that. It's pretty bad. Yeah, that Neil Gaiman.
Don't do that is bad.
All right, Taylor Lorenz, of course, she's on there, and she's got 122,000 followers on Mastodon already. Would you believe? Right. I don't know what we're doing wrong.
Again?
Not Neil Diamond. Neil Gaiman. G-A-I-M-A-N.
I know. What did he write again?
I don't know. He's a super shitlib though. Jay Rosen.
I said it right.
Journalism teacher at NYU. You've got tons of Qasim Rashid, everyone. I mean, they've all managed to find a home over here. It's not CIA infiltrated. It's an open source platform that anybody can use and anybody can create an iteration of. People are actually talking about a Mastodon.inn.
Neil Gaiman.
Making making an INN extension. Somebody's been talking about making an INN TLD extension, like a domain. So IndieLeft.inn.
American Gods is Gaiman.
Reef or After Dark.inn.
Sandman.
That's pretty good stuff. Sandman's good.
Yep.
Yeah, saying Barry Weiss is anti-Semitic. That's hilarious. That's saying ew to her because it's gross.
Coraline.
Right? Steve Biko's birthday. Biko. Happy birthday to Steve Biko. Yeah,
I prefer Terry Pratchett.
He didn't have to end it with a link tweet. I think that Matt actually did end his with a link tweet to PK News. And look, this is how she makes her money. And she's going to publish the stuff there, the analysis of the Twitter files there. I think Schellenberger also publishes at the Free Press. I didn't have a problem with her promoting her Substack because I shamelessly promote a Substack. So I would be a raging hypocrite if I did that.
Are we on a third Substack?
Nope. We're going to Boats.
Tonight?
Nope, we're going to Boats.
God.
I'm done. It's hour 45. They've suffered long enough. Let's go to Boats.
And I watch mindless shit. Boats that smash into other boats.
Yeah, we got to do Boats.
Yay, it's time for Boats.
We got to do Boats.
I'm getting Boats ready. You ready for Boats?
Puppers is going to have to disappear. Bye, Puppers.
No, Puppers is still there.
Oh, yeah. Puppers just got real little. Oh, yeah.
No. Yep, I set it up that way so it could still be Christmassy.
It's Reef and a Reef. Boats.
Yep.
Smashing in a Reef.
Peaceful, calming ocean.
That's not a good sound. Fuck!
Oh!
Oh! No, I'm all right. I'm good.
I'm all right.
That was my fault. I didn't have a thing.
Hey, would you want to study the Bible or come out to church at all? No, I'm good right now. All right, yeah. My wife and I, we lead a campus ministry at UH, so yeah.
I fucking you want to go to this church thing? That's the craziest part of that.
That and the fact that you had a camera on him the whole time. Nice. Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Bongmouth.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Smoke weed every day.
I know where he got that shirt from.
Do you?
From Snoop.
Is this how you do the weeds? Is this how you do it?
Is that paper
It's so
in
fucking
the
dumb.
end?
I don't know.
Paper in the
I don't
tip?
know.
I think it is. That's
Like a
really funny.
stem.
Okay. Sure.
California weed company sued over not getting pot smokers high enough.
Hey.
Is fucking terrible framing, New York Post. What really happened is that they like lied about their THC values.
Yes. So it didn't get me high enough. Yeah. That's a really bad framing, is right.
You've been in and around in New York. How long before this guy would get shot?
The weed these niggas is smoking straight caca. That shit out of here. What's going on here?
What?
This is the end. Fuck out of here, nigga. What you gonna do?
Oh, I just spent $30 on that. What are you kidding?
My shit.
Bullshit.
Why you gotta fuck up the rolls?
Bullshit, cuz. I'm just saying.
Yo, you're gonna get shot for that.
You know what's going on. Fuck out of here. Yo, bro, you dead ass? My nigga, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, bro?
Yeah, dude.
What's wrong with you? No.
Oh shit! He was literally gonna kill him. He was literally
Fucking
gonna
reaching
pull out a
and
piece.
shit.
Oh shit! He was strapped.
I mean, one would argue. All right, the fucking music I need to like mute, but like, just watch the kid.
Oh god!
Look at this one. Wee!
Oh my god!
Like,
oh, that kid's gonna puke.
Fucking god!
That kid's totally gonna puke.
Oh fuck!
I want to see the
Ruined
aftermath.
dervish. Oh, you'll like this one. You'll like this one
already. Another one. Oh man. That was not the reaction that I think she was hoping for.
Fuck.
You know, I'd have been cool if my third was a girl. I'm cool with it being a boy. But
fuck.
She's gonna have daddy issues when she grows up.
No, which one?
The one that's not even born yet. When she watches that video and she realizes that daddy really wanted a boy. You're muted.
Aww.
Thank you.
Fuck you.
Yes. Yes.
Fuck you.
Fuck at you. Fuck at you.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's it.
I love these. These are amazing.
What is 5 take away 2? Alexa, what is 5 take away 2? 5 minus 2 is 3. What is 10 take away Alexa?
Oh, I've seen this. Busted. Yeah, that face. Yep. Welcome to How Kids Do Their Homework today, folks. I have
Carson.
kids.
He's definitely a Carson.
He is a car son. He is a son of a car. Nice.
Oh, he's getting away from you.
Uh-oh. What's about to happen? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna. I don't think you're gonna be able to do the music, dude. I think you're gonna get in trouble.
No, yeah,
with the
it's
music.
okay.
Oh, is it?
I think Curb's okay. Yeah, I think it's like public domain.
I hope so.
Like, I'm pretty sure. I heard it frequently in other shit.
I hope so.
This is fucking. Oh my god.
Let me see. Why are you crying? So you're doing stupid things off of you, so now you're gonna be stuck like that forever.
You're gonna be stuck
Are
like
you gonna
that.
do it too? No, you're joking. Noah, stay still.
What are you scrolling?
Eric asked me to find something. I'm watching. I'm watching the fat lips. You suck like that forever. I'm watching.
Yeah, I gotta call 911. How you gonna go to school like that tomorrow? No, don't take me.
Oh,
Don't take me.
dude, that's blown up. And with the Ricky
Jesus
Morty shirt
Christ.
too. I like the Ricky Morty shirt.
I know, right?
Alexa,
The cool parent.
shut off the timer.
Shut off the timer. Oh god.
What do you do?
You just wait.
Wow.
VHS footage from 1998.
That's about the quality.
Yeah, like.
What am I missing? Planking? Oh, that's not gonna go well.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Landed on the razor stairs. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's gonna hurt.
this one's good. This is very dad.
All right. So you have to get the $5 bill without moving the hand sanitizer.
Okay.
Or knocking it over.
Gotcha.
And if you can't do it, then I get the $5.
Okay. But I can't do it. Because that's glued to the $5 bill.
No, it's not.
So there's.
Wait.
Winning.
That's not how you.
Look around and find out. No, that's not how you wanted it to work.
Yep. Neither did this one. This one did not want it to work like this.
Yeah.
Oh. Ouch. I sense surgery
duh.
and traction. Oh.
Nah. They're tender and soft. They'll be fine. You know?
I took a head look down Jack and took it down.
What happened at school?
I took a head look down Jack and took it down.
Nice.
Took him down?
You got the takedown.
Say?
Because kids don't get married, so that's why I put a headlock down him in.
I mean, seems
They wanted to
sensible.
marry you?
Yeah, but kids don't get married, so that's why I put a headlock down him in.
Nice.
That's why I took him down.
Good for
I don't
you.
think you're supposed to do that.
No, absolutely.
The greatest thing ever.
It is the greatest thing ever.
That is pretty great.
That's the greatest thing ever.
She's pretty great.
I headlocked him. This fucking kid.
What time is it?
Eating turkey time.
Reach in there and pull it out.
What is this?
It's turkey dick.
Oh, come on. That's a neck. Oh, that's wrong.
His fucking face.
Nice.
Turkey dick.
Dude, that kid may need to spend a little bit more time in school.
Yeah. What about this one? The hockey game's on.
Uh-oh. 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 Bash, bang, bang. Oh, no.
Oh, it broke it. Now what do I do?
Oh, no.
I just break it worse, obviously.
Oh, no. No, wait, come back. I hit it and come back. I want... Maybe if I hit it, it'll come back. Maybe it'll come back? I hear it.
Harder. You gotta go harder. Dad, it broke. This is how Dad fixes things.
He's gonna look at his footage
He
and
just
he's
hits
not
it till
gonna
they
be
work.
happy.
Percussive maintenance. What about this one?
Oh
yeah, it's fucked. TV's fucked now. Like, like a little anger.
Wow.
Yep.
Headlock took Jill down. Jill took Jack down. That's right. That was
So this one's titled "I Don't Want Any More, Papas." It's banana. That's what's left of banana. I know you would hate this picture. You would hate it.
Want to throw up just looking at it?
Like, what if your kid was like munch on banana and hands it back to you like that?
I would not be happy.
You would not be happy.
I would not be happy.
All right.
Uh-oh.
What do you think is gonna happen?
Somehow he's gonna fall into the tree.
Don't fall. Thank you. I hear it cracking out.
Oh, down goes Daddy.
I hear it cracking. I don't know if that.
Release the Kraken. Is that what they had to ban from Twitter?
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
We're in Pet Zone now.
Stop! Okay, sorry. Oh, fuck, where's my... Stop!
Oh my god. Dude, what the...
Holy fucking shit!
Little fucking demon cat.
Oh my god.
Like,
what was that thing doing? Was that trying to bite his nuts?
Yeah, well, it like bit his ass first, and then fucking he was like fucking with their litter boxes, I think.
Oh my
god. Look, Private Puskins. Here to fucking like look at him fucking out of tension and shit. Like is adorbs.
Good form.
Private Puskins. Ready for duty.
I want a Misty.
I know, right? Private Puskins.
What are you saying? No. We don't bark at the delivery man. Hold it in. Hold it in.
Let's go give it to you.
Come on.
What? That's DMX.
Rudolph the red nose.
Reindeer.
Forever.
Puss in Bootski. Nice. Way to go, Fred Edward.
Puss in Bootski. Nice. All right, so this is at your wedding. Okay?
Dude, are you joking here?
The grizzly bear in front of you. No way. Seriously? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like a fucking grizzly
Bear
just fucking
mauling a deer.
Down.
The grizzly bear in front of you.
Yeah, like
seriously?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Like,
oh my god.
fucking crazy nature wedding.
Do you take Joe to be your lawfully wedded husband?
Your lawfully wedded husband. Oh,
nature
God.
wedding. Yeah. That's right, Eric.
Look, it's Elizabeth Warren.
That's not very nice. That's a
bad
cobra.
snake.
I would not fuck
Yeah, but
with that
look at the
cobra.
fucking. Like, look.
Copperhead. His tongue out and everything.
Bad snake. He fucking smacked it.
Damn.
Bad. You're a bad snake. Oh, the puppers. Look, it gets all confuzzled.
Oh.
Why are we covered in snow?
Why? Why?
He was a Labrador before.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
He was like a little Labradoodle, and then we go to fucking snow
But it's
puppers.
like that was like intentional. Like that roof does that on purpose. It looks like to dump all the snow.
Yes, I'd imagine.
But why would you want to dump it right in front of your front door?
A good question. Why would you do this?
I had a few chairs I wanted to get rid of.
How does this happen? Like,
It's definitely,
what?
well, first of all, it's definitely
It
not
seems
in
like
this
a
country.
satanic ritual has gone wrong.
Well, looking at the phone number on the sign next to it, that's not in this country because that's way too many numbers and not in the right combinations.
Gotcha.
In which case, that might be every
Someone
chair.
should call the number and find out for me.
That might be the pile of broken chairs for the whole country, for all we know. Whatever country
it seems
that
like a
is.
Harry Potter spell has gone awry.
Right?
You know, like extreme musical chairs.
Rick Solis says Chairmageddon. Yipper, not so many
Yep.
people lost in musical chairs. So many people lost playing musical chairs. That's a good one. Bring out your
Here you go.
chairs.
Kitty.
Oh boy, here we go. Well, that's good. That's good. Now how are you gonna get down?
Not like that. I mean, at least he fucking landed on his feet, but it felt like that was gonna get a flip. You know. Explain this voodoo.
What? The
What?
fuck?
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Wow.
What the fuck are you juicing with it?
Oh, I have a few ideas, but I can't say it on YouTube.
Like what? Why?
That's Pornhub. Right there. That's Pornhub material.
OnlyFans? How about onlybulls.com?
Mm-hmm.
Don't Google that either.
Whoa.
Oh. Like
Lion. Oh, you know she got gored because there's no way she get that high up without help. That fast.
Oh God.
Yeeted by bull. I love the title.
Yeeted. Yeet.
You got yeeted. It's the juice loosener. Oh my God, comatose.
The juice loosener. I fucking remember that. Fucking Jim Carrey. All right. This is fucking great. Hold on. Whew. All right.
Babe, have you seen my water? Babe, something's under the bed, babe. I swear something's under the bed. Oh my God.
We'll finally get to watch some videos. Hey!
Oh, that would freak me out.
Who's your daddy?
Why is that so damn funny?
I don't know.
Why is that so
I don't
funny?
know. Yes, it is.
It's all funny
I
games. So
think
someone pulls out the bat. That's right, Eric.
I had to go here real quick.
Oh.
And then zoom. Make sure I'm all the way over. All right. I'm going to play a little quick game. I want you to tell me, right, what this picture is. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is this picture? What do you think this picture is? It's like one of those
Ocean.
super zoomed in ones.
It's like the ocean.
I think it's the ocean. Okay. I wonder if Chad will guess it. Let's just head like down and then over.
Is that Will or Ned?
I don't know.
Who is that getting hit in the head with a tennis ball?
I don't know.
It looks like
It's fucking amazing.
it looks like that meme with the guy with the face, the laughing guy. Ha!
I fucking love that.
Oh my
That's
god!
good.
Look at those eyes. That's crazy.
I know. I'm just like, I have the stream up and it's like 7 seconds behind and I'm waiting for like the fucking move, you know?
Yep.
But anyway, all right. Focus. Sorry, read chat now. All right. Ready for this one? And
That's a steel coil. I used to
action.
sell those.
Hello, Mr. George. How much you pay for the new guy?
Huh?
$20? No, too much money. He's no good operator.
He's not a good operator.
Oh my god.
How much you pay for a new guy?
Well,
You're
gonna cost you a lot more than that.
Oh my god, bro's returning husband from guy's night out.
Are you kidding me? Oh my good God. What the heck? What
got my
the?
bruvs.
What have you done to him?
Who got me bruvs?
I'm getting all this on camera. Show you tomorrow. Oh my God.
Oh, fuck again.
Get him in the car. Get him in the car.
I'm so sorry.
Get that burger on the floor right now. You're not getting this in the... Oh my God.
Lick the burger. Throw the burger on.
Is he throwing up?
How'd you go?
Is he peeing himself?
Get off that.
He's pissing himself.
Batman seat.
Wait, there's Batman in the back. Oh, that's a car seat. He's
Yeah,
got a
I know,
kid.
but it's like sudden Batman. Like do. Like you need the fucking suspense music turned on.
I didn't see the cheeseburger at first. Yeah, Yipper, that's right.
Cheeseburgers, Randy. All right. This is just because police are dumb. So we got a guy in here. Here, I can do this. Whoop. It's like, oh, a window. Let me see if it's open. I'll open the window, run out the fucking window, and like, watch, he just takes off. Look, look. Fucking
How long
gone.
before they figure it out? Or do they? 14 minutes later.
14 minutes later. 14 minutes later.
He's brought back in there.
Oh, fuck. He's gone.
14 minutes he had to run. He had a 14-minute head start.
Yep.
I'm guessing they had his info though.
Like sure,
Didn't really
but like
think it through.
I mean, but he just doesn't exist now.
Oh.
He's just off the grid. Okay, so this is one of the fucking craziest he's okay I've ever seen. By the way.
It's like the gas pump blows
Oh,
up.
got my ball. I got hit by the fucking thing.
How?
Like, okay, I'm okay. I'm all right. I just got hit in the head. I'll be okay.
Oh no no! Twice. Oh, he got up and ran. But wait, he got up and ran. This motherfucker. Did you not notice that?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh.
Oh. I'm okay. I'm okay.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm severely injured. I'm severely
The scream you made was fucking amazing. Like, you fucking great. Meanwhile, in Russia, we must have baptism before Christmas.
Oh my god!
Like, it's fucking. They're just in a lake.
Oh my god!
So,
Polar bear baptism.
Also in Russia, do not utilize your airbag.
Вот у нас два мальчика катаются, не один.
Давай, мальчика.
Oh
shit!
Hi, kitty.
You see what he was holding?
Oh yes, I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw.
Machika. I think that's how you say cat. You might know this car, Indy. But she's very excited.
Да, конечно.
Она заводится, ездит, да?
Да, она твоя. Она полностью в рабочем состоянии.
Это правда?
Да.
А как? Куда?
Вниз. Да. Вау.
You've seen a lot of?
I'm sure.
Пешка.
Of course.
Мини-купер.
Да.
Как я мечтала.
Да.
Does it start?
Не, я все понимаю. На машине с двумя педалями я ездила, с тремя тоже. Ну когда,
No
блядь, нет
machine.
педалей, я никогда не ездила на машине.
It has no pedals.
Yeah. I don't think it did.
Это круто.
Куда нажимать?
Oh no, it definitely did.
Смотри,
Да.
это же подрулевые лепестки.
I think you use those hand things on the wheel.
Спорткары, конечно.
Спорткар. Да, он.
Запускай.
Где?
Ключ зажигания. Вон он.
Где?
Вон он, вон он.
Я такой мелкий.
Да.
Куда?
А зачем варежку снимаешь?
Ну,
Ну,
да.
поворачивай, поворачивай.
Did it actually start?
Вот. Теперь здесь есть кнопка старт-стоп. Как
Да
на самом
ладно?
модном автомобиле, конечно.
Да нифига
Вот
не
она,
лежит.
вот она.
Вот это?
Да, да, да.
Кнопка.
Да, кнопка.
И она запустится.
Да.
Get the fuck out of here,
Твою мать.
dude.
Что дальше?
Дальше. Ну все, да, дальше
That's
учиться.
awesome.
Управлять под рулевыми лепестками, конечно.
А, ими управляют, да?
Да.
Happy birthday, honey.
I know.
It's a
Merry
lot of-
Christmas.
Пока нет, пока нет. Пока нету.
Будет, да?
Да.
Ну ладно.
How do you turn it off? No, I'm kidding.
I wanted to see it go.
Um,
Two stroke. That's what .com said.
Yep.
Blip, 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 blip. Look at also what happens in fucking Russia. They save Christmas. Look, reindeer. Trapped in ice.
Anybody?
Like, they're literally chainsawing the fucking...
Ну, бедный.
4 hours to help it.
And
pulling it out of the frozen river. Oh, that's even worse.
Сколько часов он просидел-то? Нет,
Wait, they start rubbing it. And they brought it back to life, probably.
Ну а чё? Пойдёшь, так пойдёшь, чё?
Smoked it next to an open fire.
Smoked it?
Yep.
Не жгёт ему ничего, что ему обожгёт, кого говорить ему. Пусть. Хорошо, пусть теплом отдает ноги. Вот, Серега, ты-то попал, ага, надо же.
And the reindeer turns around and gores them all.
Иди туда, но...
Yeah, probably.
In Russia. They'll gore you.
They decided to take it into the town. In a fucking, what is that, a Mercedes?
Well, I think they dragged it behind them. I think they're towing it.
Oh, it's on a sled. Thank God. Thank God it's on a sled.
Oh, God.
And not just like fucking medievally drug through town.
Oh, my word. They're gonna cook it. That's right, Eeper. They're just fattening him up.
Please, we must get you nice and fatty. Yeah. Oh, chew bread. Chew bread, dear boy. Nom nom.
Okay, why am I watching reindeer eating bread? We get it.
Look, it's better now.
He's live. Wow.
He made it out.
They literally like restored him to health.
Mm-hmm.
A normal day in Russia. Yes. Give it some
Safe
vodka.
Christmas, everybody.
That's right, .com.
Okay, we need a palate cleanser from goodness.
Number 2.
Oh,
we have somewhere else?
Hardcore parkour!
Oh, his pride is also shattered.
Along with his pelvis.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Limbo time.
Oh, knockout limbo. What a knockout. Oh, I could do this all day. I'm here all night, folks.
This one's also great. Ready? And West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Oh. Wait a minute. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, that's not
Now
real.
you're fucking
That's not real.
Pumpkinhead man.
That's not real. No, that's not real.
Pumpkinhead.
No, that ain't real.
You're like, that ain't real. You want to see it again?
Now, no. Now that is CGI, motherfucker. CGI.
Oh.
Oh boy.
You talking about CGI?
I
You know
saw
we had
this.
to watch it, right?
I saw this. It's so good.
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump.
Hello, everyone.
Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better
Better
than
than
Washington,
Lincoln.
with an
Better than
important
Washington.
announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection right here and right now. They're called Trump Digital Trading Cards. These cards feature
called
some of the
Trump
really
States.
incredible artwork pertaining to my life and my career. It's been very exciting.
called
You
Trump
can collect
water.
your Trump digital cards just like a baseball card or other collectibles. Here's one of the best parts. Each card comes with an automatic chance to win amazing prizes like dinner with me. I don't know if that's an amazing prize, but
Dinner
it's
with
what we
me.
have. Or
At
golf
least
with you and a group.
We're gonna
of
have
people.
McDonald's.
Wait a
It's
minute,
gonna be great.
He at least admits that he doesn't know if it's an amazing prize because he knows that it's really not. It's wow. Oh.
Friends at one of my beautiful golf courses, and they are beautiful. I'm also doing Zoom calls, a
People have
one-on-one
told me they're
meeting,
beautiful.
autographing memorabilia, and so much more. We're doing a lot.
Zoom
My
calls.
official Trump digital
You do a
trading
lot.
cards are $99, which doesn't sound like very much for what you're getting. Buy one and you
Which
will
is nothing.
join a very exclusive community. It's my community, and I think it's something you're going to like, and you're going to like it a lot.
Look
They
at
also
the look at the
What?
Look at the tan lines around the eyes, man, bro.
Yes, he's raccooning, but catch this. Catch this phrase.
You're gonna like it a lot. They also
You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it a lot. I'm like, what was that?
Wait, wasn't that?
And I think it's something you're going to like, and
It's
you're gonna like it a lot. They
you're gonna
also
like it a
make
lot.
perfect
Wait,
gifts.
didn't the guy from
so you
Men's
can buy
Warehouse,
them
like,
with
patent
your
that?
credit
You're gonna
card
like
or
it a lot?
crypto.
You're gonna
All
like the
you
way you
need
look.
is an email address.
Yeah.
Go to collecttrumpcards.com and buy your Trump digital trading cards right
And you can
now
wipe your
before
ass
they
with it.
are
Oh, no,
all
it's
gone,
not
and
even
they will be gone.
paper.
This is my first
can't even
official
wipe your ass
Trump
with it.
trading card NFT collection, and you get a chance to meet me. Go to collecttrumpcards.com right now, and remember, Christmas is coming.
Oh,
and this
Christmas.
makes a great
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
No purchase necessary. Void
Wait.
where prohibited.
Wait. How is there no purchase necessary if the cards are $99 each? If you want the
90-day
card,
guarantee, bro.
if you want the card, don't you have to purchase? Or is there no purchase?
No purchase necessary. You don't have to. You don't have to purchase anything.
I am beyond confused. But Trump and crypto, he might be a better. It's blockchain. It's
he made the
cryptocurrency.
best. Like he made the best. He's like, it's a fucking digital trading card, like baseball cards. Some of those hold value. Some of them don't.
Digital?
You know,
I don't know of any digital baseball card that's held any value. But okay. Maybe.
There's digital trading card games that
Sure.
kind of hold some value on shit.
Uh-huh.
You know, the issue is they can just change the card anytime they want to.
Yep.
So
Slingshot
anyway.
ride fail. Okay, let's go slingshot. Carnival. Rut-row. Uh-oh. I smell a lawsuit. Hey, I'm ruined.
I knew it. I fucking knew these things are rigged. These things are rigged every single time. I said it. Lads, that's fucking.
These things are rigged.
Rigged to do that?
What?
Baseball cards, but not really. Yeah, that's right, DJ Comatose. That's right. Amen, dude. So good. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. Oh,
Why does it like freeze
the
every
sound.
time? On like
the sound.
a second before
That
the videos end.
Oh, wow. I need to hear that sound.
In nomine Patria et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Oh, I didn't hear the yelp last time.
So this guy tried to bypass airport security.
Oh, that's gonna go well for him. Because they don't.
Look at his confident walk. Look, he's confident. Oh fuck! They hit him with the taser.
Yeah, they did. Right in the back too.
Taser, taser, taser.
I'm sure they told him to. He looks hammered.
Oh god.
Yep, he's riding. He's going for a ride.
The lightning.
Yeah, that's right.
Ride the lightning.
What they call it.
This is in Amsterdam.
Dickney dooney dooney dooney.
Oh no.
Dickney dooney dooney dooney.
What was he trying to do? I don't even know.
Dickney dooney dooney dooney.
He was like stuck on the bike, I think. I don't know. I wish I knew. Things would make a lot more sense. Speaking of bikes, check the speed on this one. Like 139.
Kilometers or miles an hour?
No, it didn't. I had to
It
refresh
it hit something.
And like every time, like it, like they'll
Almost
load all
hits
the
a
way
deer.
through once.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see if I can actually. Like the deer's literally like one frame.
I I saw it.
Like, look how fucking close that was.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It looked like he hit it. He just went under it.
Oh. Just went under the deer. It's like a fucking like daddy long like deer. Like you on stilts, dog. 4 pairs.
Wait, you disappeared. Where'd you go?
I'm here. Oh.
There you are.
There we go.
Oh.
New merch by Elizabeth Warren.
That's definitely not nice.
Nice.
Check out independentleft.shop, by the way. There's some new items in there, including a beanie. Merch. Speaking of merch.
I'm once again asking for your financial support.
It's almost Christmas.
It's almost Christmas, indeed. You probably shouldn't be trying to flip-floppy out in the snow, though. You know?
Yeah.
Because shit like that happens.
Ow.
You know?
Ow. Fuck.
Fucking... Well, he's got that Thompson's water seal on the deck there, so, you know, the fucking snow's not going to affect that at all.
Nope.
Got that Thompson's water seal.
Thompson's water seal. Well, yeah, we all had that.
And
that commercial.
Action.
It looks fantastic.
Oh boy.
Fantastic. Oh,
That's just wrong.
it looks fantastic. Fantastic. Oh,
That's funny.
That's funny right there.
I don't care who you are.
This is also funny.
I hate when I show my friend a funny video and they'll be like, oh, I already saw this one. I don't care. Laugh. Pretend you didn't see it. Better yet, if you already saw the video, then why didn't you send it to me the first time you saw it? Huh? Did you not think that I wanted to laugh too? No. You only think about yourself. Because you're selfish. It's toxic. It's a toxic relationship. Cut them off.
Wow, he's all up in his feelings about that.
Fucking it's a toxic relationship. Cut them off.
Well, he may not be wrong.
What could go wrong trying to be Spider-Man?
Oh!
Superman from the top rope! Fucking
Spider-Man in traction.
Superman fucking came and fucking pile drived him.
That's right. That's right. The next movie is Spider-Man in traction.
All right, you ready?
Okay. The woman in the red dress.
Horsey.
There's not a bull nearby. Hi, Tara. Wait, is that Kim? Is that Kim Iverson?
No.
Oh no. Ouch. Oh, she got stampeded.
Bye-bye. Yes, you did.
Down she goes. Down
Horse
she
ran
goes.
right into that lady.
Oh, that.
It happens behind that other horse, though, so you don't see it.
Jesus saves.
Oh.
Multiverses collide.
We were talking about an argument like this the other day.
If you press that button, it'll take 1 year off of your life, but you'll get $100,000. Dude, stop! Stop it!
He's trying to die.
It'll take 1 year off your life, but you'll get $100,000. Click, 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 click,
Dude,
click,
stop! How many millions are you getting before you have nothing left? Oh, I saw this.
So you see this?
Yes.
Okay.
So this
You
is what I mean.
toxic asshole.
This is our mainstream
Why
media.
didn't you send this to me? Why didn't you send this to me when you saw it the first time?
Because somebody, I think it was Alan McLeod.
You
said,
didn't think I
"This is
wanted
our-
to laugh?
This is our mainstream media. And action. This is the F-35.
There's just something so nice about something so expensive getting
Your
fucked
tax
up.
dollars at work.
Mm-hmm.
Bap. That seems normal.
Oh, he just crashed.
No, he meant to do that.
Ejected?
Shit.
There's the ejectors.
He definitely meant to do
His
that.
friend away though.
Oh shit.
But he wasn't in the chute.
He fell out the seat.
No, he got ejected from the seat. Did you see the?
Yeah, or something got ejected from the seat. Yes,
that was Guy.
Yep, that was Guy.
That was Guy.
Gary?
No, it was Joey.
He went to Flavor Town?
Oh my god.
Oh shit, it's a lizard.
It's a Komodo dragon. It's a fucking Komodo dragon. What the fuck are you doing with an endangered species in your office, lady?
I don't know.
Office space gets monitored, yeah. Me and the boys.
Speaking of office space.
Nice.
Bad decisions. Bad decisions. An ass crack I'm staring at right now.
That's a bad decision.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't we show this one?
We might have.
PC load letter? What the fuck is PC load letter?
Bad decisions.
PC load letter. It is very office space.
It certainly is. Oh boy. Oh, this is probably not going to go well.
We got more bangs.
We always wear our safety equipment. Always wear your safety equipment. Uh-oh. But just a tiny little bit. Ruh-roh. Boom.
And we just gotta swirl it.
Mix. Ah! Oh! Okay, he's going to the hospital now. Because there's glass lodged in his arm. There's likely glass lodged. So here we go. It's our big bang. Oh, we saw this.
Do you remember the one we had yesterday?
Yes,
yeah,
we
now
saw
we get
this.
a closer look at it. Mm-hmm.
Boom. Jesus.
Yup. Booyah.
And
you know it's in Russian. Is he in a Lada two-stroke?
No, that's a Chaika. He's getting in the bus.
I'm just gonna move my car.
I think I should move the bus so that doesn't blow up too. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yep. Agreed.
And
boats, everybody.
There's boats.
There's boats.
Yay, boats.
Boats.
Yay. So
boats.
Since we did mention the merch shop, I did some work this week and made some new merch. So if somebody is inclined to buy a present for someone with a baby, I made this kick-ass, how do we miss that, onesie. And on the other side, it says Indie Left News. So they can dump all over our news. That's right. That's right. The babies can dump all over our news. Indie Left.Nudes. What? Oh, okay. No, that's the wrong one. A purple hoodie. I really like the way this came out, but I just hope that it's not blurry like on the hoodie itself. Because I put in pretty high res stuff, but it looked good. And then, of course, this I really think came out awesome, which is an embroidered beanie. Just $25.99. I thought it was $23.99, but I made it as cheap as possible so that it was like the minimum amount of profit. That without getting zero for it. Yeah, kick ass. I like this beanie. I'm a beanie guy, so I might have to order one of those. And my kids got How Do We Miss That shirts, by the way, all three of them for Hanukkah. I gotta get
one of those adult onesies.
There's a kid-sized T-shirt of that here. It's here the kids premium tee, which was $21.99, folks. That's the premium tee, so it's nice. And I got two in like a medium and one in a maybe all three in medium. There's the water bottle. We got some nice stuff over here. Head out to independentleft.shop. That's the URL, independentleft.shop. And it's also linked on the link tree. which Elon, I hope you don't ban me for that, but you even have the crop hoodie. Indie Left News. And then we have I made a couple of How Do We Miss That things, and I made a couple of Indie Media Today sweatshirts and things. I got more logos and more stuff. I didn't make anything for the Indie Media Awards yet. I didn't make any stuff for the Indie Media Awards. There's still Bongfather merch is all in here, in red and in
I am
blue.
once
and
again
green.
asking for your financial support.
No. Reef, I think I might pay money to see Reef in an adult onesie, honestly. That might be worth something.
Sure.
There's also a
With the
nice
butt
pillow.
flap?
You get an Indie Left News pillow.
Body pillow?
No, it's a square. And then anybody want some Bongfather socks in black? You get those too. True or cut socks. And then you got your mugs and your pint glass. We got a bunch of merch, folks. So come check it out. Independentleft.shop. Independentleft.shop.
The hoes be knowing.
Oh, well. Oh, now you calling me Cenk Uger now because I'm plugging the shop.
What?
Wow.
Who are these people?
Yes, thank you, Joe.
Well, I mean,
Who are these
Because
people?
I was tired of paying for weed.
Mm-hmm. So that is our show for this evening. This week, I don't know, what do we have going on? I don't know if Jesse's doing a show. Well, it looks like those snowflakes are going literally right on your face, and you're getting like the little twinkles on your facha macha.
Oh my facha macha.
That's right.
Fucking goddamn.
I don't know if Jesse's going to be doing a show this week, but Jesse is going to be dropping a new album on Christmas Eve. Very excited. He's dropped a couple tracks already from it, so I can't wait to
Jesse
see
Jet's
that.
Christmas.
Jesse Jet. No, that's Emmett Otter who has Jug Bag Christmas. It's not Jesse Jet. No. What else is happening?
Christmas time is here again.
Well, you're going to have another INN News Wednesday. We are taking off
Yeah,
next Sunday
probably.
night for Christmas. I don't know if we're going to take off for New Year's. We're going to take off the week after that. We may just take a 3-week break. I'm not sure. Or we're going to do one in between and just take 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off. Stay tuned and subscribe to the Substack. We'll let you know. IndieMedia.today, Substack. All right, everybody. I'm going to say keep questioning everybody's motivations, and I'll let Reef.
Keep listening to what little birds had to tell you.
Bye. Have a great time.
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry. My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they